What's good? What's good? It's your boy Scott Lewis, Apartment Gaming and more here with another one, Brooklyn Nets Stoop Edition. What's good, man? What's good? Yo, Jamal, you funny dude, man. Yeah, you were the first one. You get a free watch, right? Shit. What's good? What's good, Beamer boy? What's up? What's good, man? What's good? Jamal said, I'm the first. I'm gonna give out some t-shirts. I got some new hats too, man. I should give out some hats. But the only problem is the hats I have are fitted, so they ain't gonna fit everybody. I gotta get some snapbacks. The snapbacks make it easier to give away. It's not that it's cheaper, it's just it'll fit everybody's head. I'm gonna do some hats though. What's good? What's good? What's up? Players for keep. What's up, man? What's good, man? What's good, man? uh, what y'all want to talk about? The boy Jaeger been picking up hobbies like boxing and much more. I like how he's doing the boxing thing. That will help with his mental part of his game. Yeah, yo, boxing is really good for you too, physically. I do shadow boxing on the VR glasses. Oh, we got John on the stoop. What's up, John? What's good?
Scott, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Hanging in there. Any news? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, tomorrow at 3 o'clock we get the
Oh
full
yeah.
schedule for the Brooklyn Nets. So be interested to see what those first 20 or so games are. Whether we take it on contenders, middle of the pack, or bottom barrel. Hopefully, there's a few bottom barrel there. So this young squad could at least have something to really fight for and get maybe a win or two on the notch because we need as much energy we can in this first half of the season to make some type of case that this young core we have, there is something to really be desired there. And I really think Yegor Michael, that duo is going to be so important in those first 20 games. How they develop as a duo, how Michael runs point, how Yegor shows what he did in Summer League wasn't a fluke, and that he really is having a huge leap this year. So those two are going to be important. The NPJ stuff, he's inspiring at this point. As long as his production is good, that's how the Nets could preserve his value. And then Randall, again, Randall's a lot to prove this year. Some people think
Yeah.
this is the tail end, twilight of his career. The guy still has fire in the tank. He wants to win each game he plays. And I think he's going to be a positive for these young guys forever, how long he is in a Brooklyn Nets uniform. And then Dayron, whether I like Dayron as a starter or not, he can rebound well, and he's going to get second chance opportunity for the other starters. So again, it's not a perfect system we got right now, but again, this is where we get to see if Jordy truly is that coach of the future by how he sets up his system this season. Can he make some alterations? Can he run more of a physical style of basketball as opposed to catch and shoot threes and quick tempo? Like, we need to see a little structure this year on a roster that isn't the best structure at this moment. So for Jordy, it's a big test for him as well to see how he mixes and matches different matchups and whatnot. So that's going to
Yeah.
be a storyline too to look out for.
Yeah, that Jordy is under the gun too, right? It start right now for him. And thinking about the tomorrow when the schedule comes out, you got to remember also today was the schedule for the cup. And
Yeah.
if that schedule is anything like the cup, we are in trouble.
We could get one game on Amazon Prime, man. Like, we're not even getting streaming network games. Like, how bad that is to
But
the organization.
the whole thing is that'll change if you win. That shit can change mid-season. For real. I mean, they can change it the minute they figure, oh, we got a story. You know what I'm saying? Our rookies got to step up. Somebody got to come out of that, out of this rookie thing and just show stardom. You know what I'm
It,
saying?
it
If that
really
if
is.
that happened in the middle of the season, you'd be surprised. They'll be like, cancel that game. Let's go to Brooklyn. Let's go to Brooklyn.
Honestly, I think if the Nets make a big move next year and our core is more unified the following year, I think the Nets will get a few television games. I think the NBA sends a message that you either have to have star talent on your team or you have to be a believable team to compete and contend because they only give national games now to teams they believe are going to contend. So, again, they want to sell money. They want to sell tickets. They want to make money, sell tickets. So I understand all that. It's going to be great when the Nets eventually do get a fair amount of those national television games because those are huge, especially for a young Michael Yeager. If they really do prove, like you said, to be our cornerstone guys, like that would be huge for them playing on the biggest networks possible because now people really get to see if they are those type of guys. So that would be great when eventually that does happen. But I also did see the Cup schedule for us. I think we're taking on Detroit, Orlando, Milwaukee, and another team. So yeah, there's some tough teams there for the Nets. But again, those cup games again are important prove it moments. Like that means you're fighting for something more. Like these in season tournaments, kind of fun in the sense where some teams that look like championship teams can win it, or teams that are on the cusp of contention can win it, or teams that are on the trying to build something real with a younger core can potentially surprise some good teams because those are like knockout round games, especially if you
Right.
make the Final Four. So for the Brooklyn Nets, I think that's where I would really be looking at to see if Jordy can truly coach at a high level and if these young guys could step up to the pressure because those should be pressure games for this young core to say,
Yeah.
hey, nobody's given us a chance in hell to win this tournament. Let's see if we could get a win or two to say, hey, we're fighting. We're fighting to be a part of that because I think the NCAA tournament is a lot of fun for younger teams that are trying to make those statements that, hey, we may not be championship teams now, but we win that, you're going to be talking about us throughout the season. So I think the young Nets core should take those games very seriously, regardless if there's a few tough opponents there.
Right. Right. Oh shit. We got Jamal on the stoop. What's up, Jamal?
Hey,
Yo,
man.
yo, what's good, y'all? What's good? What's good?
Not
Y'all
much.
can
Not
hear me?
much. Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah,
Got you.
All right, all right. I'm right now. I'm just cooking, so I'm just listening to y'all. Chop it up.
yeah,
I'll
Oh
jump in
yeah.
if I need to.
Right. Right.
yeah. Enjoy
Oh.
your food, man.
All right.
uh, Oh, Ribby, I get it that you would want to win. If you win a hat, you want a Nick hat. I know you're a Nick fan. I appreciate you being here, though. You're a ball fan, really. You're a Nick
Well,
fan first, Ribby.
he's he
Ribby's a Nick fan. But you know what? He always be here. I appreciate you, Ribby. I
at
really
the end of
do.
the day, me and Ribby Word was on the best of terms, but now there is a bit of a level of like he's a Knicks guy, I'm a Nets guy, and we both want our teams to be at top level to fight each other and prove
Yeah.
which is the best. And we're going to beat them at a certain point in the season. The Nets are going to get a win over the Knicks, and Julius Randle is going to be a big part of that. But easy, these cup games are very important for every team right now because you're fighting for something else in the beginning of the season. Like that, they're higher stakes kind of make teams play even better because there has to be some sort of incentive for this. And I think
Yeah.
the last 2 years, I think a lot of teams have taken it seriously, and it's been a lot of fun. So for this young Brooklyn Nets squad, they should take those games seriously. And again, we have to add upgrades easy over the next 2 years to make this team legit. This current roster is not legit by any means whatsoever. But Diego and Michael, that right now is your nucleus. Maybe Dayron and Minot are part of that in some form. But everybody else in this roster, you could probably eventually move around and get those upgrades when the timing is right. So
but
I'm just
John,
being legit about that.
but John, maybe one of these rookies will step up.
I
You
just
can't
said Michael
you
Yeager is the
can't
nucleus.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
said that.
saying. I mean, maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's more than that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I
Maybe
forgot Marion too. I forgot
I'm
Marion
saying
too.
we could quite possibly be not that far.
If when
I'm
you
just
get the
saying.
upgrade, when you get the upgrade piece, then you can say that. Right now, we are far at the moment until we
I mean,
cash in our chips.
I think we underestimate this team. We really do. We
It's not.
underestimate the possibility of this team. Let's put it that way.
It's not underestimating. It's like if I knew this team was more balanced as best as it could be, I'd be a lot more excited. And I think we're
So
going to
what
beat
is it
some teams.
missing? What is it
They're,
missing? What's the
they're,
team
miss-
really
they're
missing?
they're missing a legit starting caliber center. Our two main wings are
Right.
aging players, and our backcourt's kind of
Oh,
set.
our
And even
wings are no good. Our wings are
no,
no good.
I'm not saying Randall and MP aren't good, but I'm just saying long term they're not going to be here when the
Oh
Nets are
no,
legitimately contending for
no,
anything. So
no.
that
They
in
ain't gonna be
itself
here for a
is
long time.
that
No.
itself has to eventually be turned into those upgrades that you want to get to be a contending team. And then the bench, it's a logjam of epic proportions. Like you have Nolan, Keon, Minot, maybe Danny Wolf or Clowney, and Mo Wagner. But then you have like 7 or 8 guys that either we drafted last year or this year. And we have guys on this team that probably shouldn't be on this team. So you already have a logjam there, which I think eventually you want to have good depth on this team that's serious about competing. So against it's an unfinished product by a lot of means, and I think we will surprise some teams this year. But I'm planning ahead for when the Nets are going to strike and make those big moves because you want to be a legit team. The East is no joke anymore. It's a lot more competitive. It's a lot more fiery.
I
And Big
mean,
Yoke, they're going to be
on paper, yes, on paper. You don't. A good thing about basketball, you don't play basketball on paper. You don't. You don't. You don't know if somebody don't get along. You don't know what happens. You can never know what happened in that locker room. So we sitting here and we saying on paper, yeah, oh, the East got better because a couple of moves. Not necessarily.
again, big homie, this roster is very incomplete. I'm not saying we're going to lose every game this year. I think we could win over 20 this year at the very worst or potentially best. And
Well,
if
that's the same thing as last year, right?
if it's well, I mean, that's progress, right? You have to evaluate progress, and progress is not going to be as big as some people think. But if the Nets get to a 30-win threshold and we're barely near the play-in or out of it, maybe that's something you can hang your cap on. But again, you want to get a more balanced roster in a year or two around Michael Yeager.
Well,
I've
I
gotten
John,
to make
think
a million
I
before.
go ahead, go
I
ahead,
got a
go
question,
ahead,
John.
go
When
ahead.
Indiana went to the finals, did anybody expect that team to be that good?
Nope,
I
nope.
don't think anybody expect them to be in the finals, but when I watched them against Milwaukee, they definitely were making me a believer. They were for sure in that first round. Like
No, no, I'm
Halliburton,
talking about during the
Montrez.
season. I'm talking about during the season. Nobody projected Indiana to get to what they were, especially with Tyrese Halliburton.
But again,
Yeah,
that's Halliburton, a young star. Pascal Siakam is always like that third
that's
option type star piece, and then you have who else do they have? They have so many other good pieces. Like Miles Turner was good for that run before he got the money. Milwaukee was kind of bad. They also had other young pieces too. Even Benedict Mathurin, was being a good spark off the bench for them. Like they had a lot of different firepower pieces to work with, and then Neesmith, he was playing well, and then Nimhard. I thought he was playing very well as well. So they had a lot of pieces that complement each other. I think this roster is interesting, but I see some pieces that don't fully complement each other. I think we have some redundancy on this roster with maybe too many guards that aren't going to get all those playing minutes, and we kind of know who those people are. I keep saying our two wing guys at the starting position are older and they're not exactly on any long term contracts. The Porter Jr. one might be solved this year with a trade deadline move. And then Randall, that's next year for when he's an expiring. So for the Nets, you have all these picks. You still have cap space flexibility. Not resigning MPJ. I think if they let him walk, the Nets have over $50 million in cap space next summer, which that right there is a max slot of money to work with. So I think this front office might be prioritizing a big upgrade eventually to join Michael and Yegor if they prove this season that duo is legitimate. Like I want those two to shine this year. I want them to be a huge part of the win success. But again, they have to still prove it. But I think this front office is looking ahead, going, we cannot leave this roster as is. It's not perfect. We're trying to say it's a good, fun roster, but I think they know you're going to have to upgrade a few corners of this team to be legitimate. And a starting center is a huge issue that has to get resolved in the near future.
I think
I want to say,
depending
big homie, what's up? What's up, big homie? Go ahead,
I,
Jamal.
I think depending on how their record is looking or how they're looking before the trade deadline is depending on what they might do. Because if they in the hunt where they're overachieving, where they might, and let's say, for instance, by the time trade deadline comes, let's say we the seventh seed or even the sixth seed, they might end up swinging for the fences and go after a disgruntled, player.
I'm not upset if we go after an upgrade piece and we're somehow a seventh playing team. Like then I would be aggressive and assertive. I'm playing with house money. I'm overplaying expectations, and I still think, regardless if the Nets are a 7 through 10 playing team or out of a play-in, I think the Nets are going to look where other teams are at and say, "Hey, can we turn a Michael Porter Jr. expiring and some capital into a Franz Wagner, Trey Murphy, or some young player like you said that's on a disgruntled team that wants to go somewhere else?" Again, if the Nets do that, and I keep calling that pre-agency, free agency is not what it is anymore. Pre-agency, which is the deadline, is where all these big trade moves now seem to be happening. So if the Nets are going to make a big upgrade move, next year's deadline, regardless of record, should be where they're aiming for right now, because you want to add to this young core, but you want to get somebody that's really going to drive your win totals to a different stratosphere. And I think that's what the Nets are going to be looking at, regardless of their record right now, or if they're playing for them all.
The only thing
I
is they gotta fit. They gotta fit. That's the
I,
only thing.
I know.
Because it can't be like a Donovan Mitchell. It can't be a point guard. It gotta be a player where we could move a certain, like if we got rid of MPJ and we end up putting Diego at the three, right? If you talk about bringing Booker in, all right, whatever. But that's the
I,
only other player I would think about just moving Diego to the three for.
Devin Booker's a very interesting player. I think the Suns, they're trying to do continuity to all these different contracts with Brooks and all those other guys. I don't see him as a legitimate team in the West. I think the teams like OKC, Spurs, even Denver's still a joker. Like, you still have a lot of firepower at the top of that West. And I feel like the Suns are going to be that fun playing team again next year. But again, Devin Booker's timeline and the guys they drafted, his timelines don't fit. And we have to remember, Booker's making over $250 million. I think he's the most expensive, one of the most expensive contracts right now in the NBA as a player. So for the Nets, if you're going to get Devin Booker, you have to hope this team has a lot of depth around it to be legitimate, because moving Yegor to the three is a gamble in itself, unless this season he has really great defensive gameplay. I think we saw some of it this summer with the steals he was getting. But again, moving him to the three to guard wings like Franz's and whatnot, that's a tough task for a guy like Yegor, unless he overproduces on the defensive end this year. But the Booker thing, I'm going to have to think about that one. That's a lot. That's a big contract right there. And you get him with Mike Hale. I think it's a fun backcourt. But again, you get Booker's contract on the books. You have to have a legit roster. And I don't know if the Nets are going to go that type of big game here for the
It's just whoever we get, it has to fit. It can't be we get the piece and we're trying to adapt to them. They have to
right.
fit to what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. We got Easy on Stoop. What's up, Easy?
Yo, what's going on? Yo, I'm hot. I got an echo. Do I got
No,
an
no,
echo?
you good.
NBA.
You good.
You
Oh, all right. What's going on, y'all? What's the word? I was listening to y'all chop it up. You know, I had to pull up here, chop it up with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
know.
Talk back up, nuts back
we
back.
we're trying to talk John out of all these moves.
We don't want to get off the
You
moves,
already
bro.
know when John Marks got his heart set on it, it's over.
John want to go
I,
from competitive to championship in like 15 games, bro. Like,
I didn't
it
say
yeah,
don't
that.
work
I
like that.
said next year. I said next year. That could be like in 40 or 50 games we make a big move. I didn't say in 10, 15.
it
Well,
takes it takes time. It takes time.
let me say this, because everybody keep on seeing like what they feel like new teams pop it out of nowhere and like put it in crazy work, i.e. like Indiana Pacers, i.e. San Antonio Spurs, i.e. Oklahoma City Thunder. When we gotta look at the context, like a lot of things was happening in their time. We just looking at it because we Nets fans, so we don't really care about everything going on within their organization. But they had a lot of things going on. It wasn't just like an overnight flip. It felt like an overnight flip to us because we don't really pay attention to some of them teams. Nobody not gonna tell me they was paying attention to Indiana, but me paying attention to all the NBA, I could tell you from even the season that they even made the finals, they was hot from the All Star break, a little bit after the All Star break, a little bit
Yeah, they
before All
were.
Star break. They was
Yeah,
hot. They was killing teams like Denver, who was so quote unquote championship contenders. Like they was killing those teams like that. And then
yeah.
if you look at their history, every time they made it into the dance, they either made it to the second round or they was giving people a run for their money. And it depends how you look at things. Like they was smacking up Giannis in that Dame experiment. They was smacking them up. Dame couldn't get out the first round in the East, smacking them up. Gave the Knicks a run for their money.
Yep.
Celtics had some problem with them. Cleveland
Yep.
couldn't match up with them. So like we could look at it like that, but like one, it's matchups, and two, there's a lot of things going on. They built their thing. It didn't happen overnight, bro. We can't just automatically, oh, let's get this piece, let's get this, and then oh fine. We about to hit the second round next year. All right, we in the finals. It's not gonna work like that, bro.
I didn't say it's only like that, but you have to make other moves. If the Nets get an upgrade next year with Michael Yeager, you still have to eventually get a centerpiece. You have to figure out your depth more with your bench. Like, there's going to have to be alternate moves. I know that. And I'm just saying, for the Nets, free agency is the way you get deals done now for upgrade pieces. The Nets can't just wait till the summer now anymore because big stars sign contract extensions, as we know, or there's trades that happen in the summer as well, but they're more frequent in the deadline. So I just think the Nets have to keep that opportunistic mindset because you are a piece away from having something that's legitimate. I'm not saying it's championship at the moment, like you just said, but it's a starting block to say, hey, you have the nucleus in place. Now you have to address all the other things you have to figure out. That's all I'm saying. Is I'm not saying it's automatically yes or that. Unless you get a Joker, then that's a whole different conversation. But I'm talking about guys like Franz Wagner, Trey Murphy, younger pieces that would fit with Michael Yeager if we're moving away from MPJ 5 months from now. That's all I kind of been saying.
Let me say this real quick. Let me ask you this real quick, John. Cause we had the discussion before. Cause you said the magic happens in free agency, at least for us in a certain term of sense, and for a lot, damn near every team, to be honest. So let me ask you this, because there's no running around this fact. Everybody in the league know it. We a bottom shitter team. We are at the bottom of the totem pole when it
Mhm,
comes to the hierarchy
mhm.
of the NBA. In order to land what you would consider a good to great free agent that would change the trajectory of this team, you have to overpay. I heard you before say you don't like some of the contract this man will give, but in terms of what you speaking of, you will have to give quote unquote a bad contract unless that player exceeds that contract. Are you willing to see Sean Marks give a guy like Jalen Duren 40 million, 45 million, well, 40 million, 40 million a year just to get him here? And me personally, I don't think Jalen Duren all that. And to put him on this team, you ain't gonna see what you think you want to see. So, like, are you willing to see Sean Marks give a guy a big contract that you know a bad contract, basically a bad contract, no matter how
Um,
good he
I'm
is?
I'm glad you brought the Durant stuff again. We have to figure out if he's signing whatever $30 million salary deal that Detroit has right now. I think if a deal isn't done by September, they have to start having serious conversations with him because if he takes that qualifying offer, he walks for nothing next year. Where if you're a team like Brooklyn, you just have to worry about cap space money as opposed to giving up a single asset for a 22-year-old top caliber center. And I talked about this on Breezy's show. If I was the GM and I'm trying to pry Durant away from Detroit, that first year, I would front load it with the $40 million salary in good faith for Duran, but then I would descend that contract to like 37, 35, 33 mil the next 3 years after. And if Duran and his agent don't like that deal, I'm not going to go 40 plus for 4 years because let's be realistic. Durant is not a top two option, but he's a top four option at the very worst as a
Wait,
legit
wait,
big.
wait,
So
wait,
we
wait,
can't
John, real
let his
quick, real
money
But
quick.
but
contract
John,
for
but
him.
John, but John, my fault, easy.
Go
That's the
ahead,
whole
go
thing,
ahead.
right? If you could get 250 something from the team that you were with versus 100 and change from another team, you're gonna try to pressure that team that you're with to give you that 200 or something. You don't want to settle for. You're losing a damn near a whole 100 mil.
But Jamal, again, the first year would be where we have to pay a price, and you have to give Durant a little good faith. In the first year, here's the $40 million. You're set up for the next year of your life. But then it has to descend because we have to remember if you get Durant, you want his contract as it descends to line up when Michael and Yeager are going to get those first real rookie extensions. To me, if Durant and Yeager are on board with us with that type of deal, I'm set. Like I'm not
No,
upset
no,
about
We
no,
it.
got
John. What you're saying is 100% right. How you're viewing
Right.
it is right, right? But
Yeah.
realistically, he's 22 years old. He's trying to get his money. He do not care about helping a team or anything like that. He's 22 years old with 250 on the table. You're not leaving that.
yeah.
We'll see
Yeah,
what
we got we
happens.
got we
We'll see
got
what
we got Lee.
happens.
We got Lee on the
Let
stoop.
Lee
What's
get off
up,
his
Lee?
game.
Well, Lee, go ahead, Lee.
Um, First and foremost, I just want to say congratulations to Russ.
What
I know
happened to
that's not a
Russ?
part of the conversation, but
Go ahead. What?
congratulations to 18 years of Russell Westbrook, when somebody who never cheated you with effort.
That's true. That's for
He,
sure.
ne- he never he never cheated you. Like for
Nah.
18 years, you saw this dude play every game,
Yes, he did.
100%, 100,000%, 100 million. So um, I wanted to have a conversation about where Russ is as far as players with no championship, where he ranks among that list is probably somewhere in the top 10. But since we talking about tired ass Jalen Duran,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lee.
since we talking about tired ass Jalen Duran and most likely overpaying him, like we've been doing a lot of like we've been picking up overpay contracts from Ben Simmons to goddamn MPJ. Like none of us really minded because those dudes had like 2 years left on their deal and they were really salary dumps.
You think MJ
And
overpaid though?
I understand the basis of Jalen Duran being 22 years old or 22 years old. That's the sell point. What we don't understand is where Jalen Duran improves. That's what we don't understand as a 22-year old. Well, as
He's
22
20
years
and
old, we can
10.
hold on. At 22 years old, we can honestly say everything that we've seen from Jalen Duran, bro, since he's been in the league, and he's been in the league for like going on what 4 or 5 years, because he's been in the league since he was 19, 18, however old he was, because he was pretty young when he got in there. This is pretty
If he up
much
for
the
a
best
contract,
that
it
he's
should be
gonna
four
be.
years. If he up for a contract, it should be 4 years at least.
Right, so it's for 4 years. So to we can honestly say that Jalen Duran, his game is pretty much what it's gonna be probably for the rest of his career. I mean,
I can't do that. I can't
No,
do that,
20
bro.
and
I can't.
10 Luke is not
That's kind
something to
of rough.
frown upon, man. Like, he's been solid for, and he's gotten stronger too in under 4 years. That counts a
I
lot
mean,
I
I'm with
too.
you
mean,
with Durant. I'm with you with Durant, but
the
I
thing
think
is,
that's kind of rough.
the thing is, in terms of his self creation, which he doesn't have a lot of, we're going to have to pay high on somebody that made an All NBA team pretty much by playing alongside a Cade. You know what I'm saying? So like realistically, like that's realistically where his 19 most of his 19 and 10 came from being a
Mhm.
lob threat, from being a rim runner, being on the boards in the regular season. None of that translated to the playoffs for real, because
Right.
But
none of
all
them big
those
games
similar
was in the
too.
playoffs.
But
So real, hold on.
Yeah.
Realistically, the scale, and a lot of people look at the age. I look at the how do you adapt to certain coaching styles, to certain playing styles. I don't think Jalen Duran is a big that Sean Marks is interested in,
Okay.
or a big that my coach is interested in, because he's never used a big of his caliber or his skill set. And that's the reason why I've let go of the Jalen Duran dreams. I've let go of that. I'm focused on the reason why I'm more so focused on the team at hand is because, and you can see it from the 2 year contracts that we signed, and from the players that we didn't go out in free agency to go sign, and from the trades that we didn't make. Now I'm still over the fence about the Trey Murphys and the Peyton Watsons, because defensively I think they fill a void.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think defensively they give you something. They give you something a whole lot more than what our start lineup is right now. They give you a little bit more athleticism. They give you a little bit more speed and tempo, and somebody to play with above the rim type players. Specifically Trey Murphy, but I gotta live in reality that our closest chance at a Trey Murphy type player is probably most likely gonna be in the draft before it becomes in the trade. You know, I think our chances at a high athletic player is probably going to be in the draft in these next 2 to 3 years, or how many years it's going to
we're,
take. I think
we're
that
not going to be
a
drafting
lot of these
second.
rookies, like I said, bro, I think a lot of what we're going to do is get expiring contracts, bro, like kind of like MPJ and Julius Randle. That's going to be the basis around these last two drafts that we had and we want to get acclimated to the team and we want to improve. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I don't really, as long as Sean Marks is here, I don't really see a player like Jalen Duren walking in the door other than the fact that we're throwing him the bag.
Right. Right.
The
Let me
first
get
year
let me
will
get
be
let me get
fair.
Joey on the stoop. Let me get Joey on the
Yeah,
stoop.
let's Joe get on.
Notorious. What's good, man? How you
What's
doing,
good, man?
baby?
Hey, Leaf, man, I just finished watching your stream, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
I saw it too.
Leaf is
Yeah.
not selling his Danny Wolf stock. Leaf is standing
At
on
all.
he is
At
standing
all.
on business.
At all.
You hear me?
At all. And just to cover and just to make sure everybody know, I covered all of the flaws that everybody was worried about. I waive every last one of them. I don't give a shit about them.
Yeah. I saw
You
the whole
can't just
thing.
say that,
But
Lee. You have to hear the
Hey,
criticism,
I
Joey.
don't care.
Yes,
go
you
ahead,
do.
Joey.
You have to care. You have to care.
Hey,
2010, you said 2010 and 5. Danny Wolf last night on Breezy
If he
Show.
average if he averages starter if he averages real starter minutes,
Yes,
that's 2010 and 5, bro. Like I'm
Oh
leaving it
wow.
there.
my God,
Steve,
bro.
I'm
Steve,
leaving
you
Wow.
it
said
there,
it.
bro. I'm like,
Wait,
listen. Hold up. There's no OMGs, bro. None of you don't go to church easy, so stop.
whoa,
Listen,
Oh
whoa.
my God.
one. Don't be calling on God, bro. Like, leave him out of this. The thing is that out of all the people up in here, I deserve to be optimistic. For the ignorant and negative nigga that I've been in the past couple of years, I deserve it because I sat back the last couple of years and I put 2 hours and 30 minutes of the worst basketball you ever seen in your life on the channel. So I deserve the shit.
listen, man, my man Leaf had to do play-by-play of dog shit for the last
Yeah,
two
that is
years.
true. That is true, Joey.
Wait. Hold on, Joey.
That
Hold
is
on, Joey.
true.
Hold on, Joey. Hold on. I didn't hear that bullshit when the Nets was smacking up the Warriors. This nigga was hyped out his motherfucking seat and couldn't wait to hit Breezy Stream to fucking violate motherfuckers.
So
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 take
what
the
you were
good
saying
with
so
the
so
fucking
what you
bad,
were
my nigga.
saying
I'm tired of hearing this
so
bullshit,
so
yo. Like,
so you
oh
saying,
man, the whole
hey,
Nets season was bad.
easy, you
You was
saying,
shitting on the Warriors when they won. You shitting on the Rockets when they won. Nah, bro, fuck that, bro. Take the
so
good with
what
the
you
bad,
saying
bro.
is he thought we was
I'm
bad?
shitting on everybody except for the Nets. You damn right I'm shitting on them. I don't care about them.
Yo,
Why do I care?
I remember when Leaf was like, it's Zachy in the bus. It's Ace Bailey in
Listen, man, Leaf deserves that optimism. I was
I
watching
finally
his.
got a
Hold
player
on,
that I
hold
wanted
on,
on
real
the
quick. I
team,
was
bro.
watching his
And I don't get to hear
play-by-play.
the Cam Thomas
Let,
niggas,
h-
bro, interrupt me.
hold on, I
But
was
you,
watching your
Let
play-by-play.
Joey go. Let Joey go. Let Joey
I
go.
was watching your play-by-plays, Leaf. I heard your voice cracking while you was doing it. I saw the redness in your eyes. You listen, that was hard on Leaf to call that, man, and he did it. He was faithful.
He did. He did, Joey. It
You
was.
see what
It
I'm
yo,
was.
saying?
Like, he was the only one too,
Yeah, he
doing
was the
play by
only
play.
one, man.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, Joey, that avatar is dope. The Nets
Yeah,
yeah,
should
man.
that's
I
copy
good.
just
that.
I
That's
made
good,
this. I was
Yeah,
messing
That's cool,
around
man.
and made
I ain't
this
gonna
dope
lie, that
shit.
that's
avatar
dope.
is beautiful, bro. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie
that's
to you.
dope. That
That
shit
should be
is
on
hot.
that should be on a jersey, Joey. Like you should get to the Brooklyn Nets right now. Say, put that on a jersey, man.
Yeah,
Don't be
man. Like,
surprised
That's a
if
listen,
they
fact.
man.
don't.
Like, come
I
on,
mess
man.
with it. I mess with it, bro. I'm gonna find that on the hat, bro, because y'all already know I'm a hat
This
person. I
nigga
gotta
said on
give.
the hat.
Yo, no, that
Yes.
shit is dope. That
Nah,
shit is
nah,
dope.
dead serious, easy, bro. Cause I got a homie back home, but he in Rochester right now. He make customs for New Era and Mitchell and Ness. So I'm gonna see if I could get him. It might cost me a little bit, but F it, man. Like that's the only thing I spend money on anyway. So
Yeah, that's true.
Nah,
That's
I
what
know
we
I'm
do.
joking though, but what y'all boys up here? Y'all still up here talking about this center position and who should play the five and
I already
What
and
do
told.
uh
When I told people a million times, bro. Like I don't know how many
well,
times I gotta say it.
let me
Joey?
say this.
Well, well,
Let me say this. Let, oh,
did
sorry.
you see the cup schedule for the Nets, Joey? Oh, I think Joey stepped away.
Thank Joe. Yes, and I saw the Cup schedule, bro, and
You saw it,
I
Lee?
don't get. Yeah, I saw it, and I don't give two dams about it.
I didn't
I
see
Oh,
mean,
it. I didn't see it. Belief could
Well,
go.
oh,
we're
oh.
facing Orlando, Detroit, Milwaukee, and another team. We're facing four teams.
I don't give two dams about none of them teams, bro.
Yes,
All I
we
know is
do.
I
Wait,
don't.
the NBA Cup games are important as far as just the level of competitiveness. I think for this young squad, it's a good test to see if some of these guys can rise up in a pressure-induced situation. Like nobody's giving the Nets any chance in hell to win more than 20 games. Make these tournament games matter. That's all I'm saying about that.
Wait. Hold on. Matter of fact, that just reminded me. So, John, you think these NBA Cup games matter? Like hold a great amount of weight to the players?
I think it's good for personal development. It's good for potentially trying to get an accolade of an in-season tournament cup that it's a team thing. Like it definitely, I was kind of hesitant about it when it was first created, but I like it. I think it's great for all the teams, especially for young teams that are on the cusp of maybe being a contender or building something, and to see those guys in a final scenario against a top team and they beat that team in a sudden death playing tournament cup game. That's pretty exciting. Like I don't think we have a chance to do that, but if we can win a game or two here to maybe get as close as we can to a top four scenario, that's fun in itself. Like it's an exciting thing. Like this is a young team with no expectations, and these cup games are a good test to see if they can handle that pressure, rise above it.
Well, let me
I,
say this real
I would
quickly.
say that about every game.
Let me say this
For
real
this
quick.
team, shit.
Let me say this. That strategy right there could backfire in the same way how you think it could succeed. The same way how you thinking, oh, they could compete. They could come out against a team in the first series of cup games where they think they're gonna hold weight, and that team could blow them out the water by 30 or 40. And remember, in the first few games in the cups, it matters how much you beat the opponent by. So they could
Right,
play two of
right.
them cup games and get smacked off the water, and then they could go on the next like 8 game losing streak just because they realize, God damn, we don't even hold it to competition when they decide to just pull up their fucking shorts, nigga. Let alone
I,
get serious.
I hear you on that, and these games are part of our first 20 games of the season, so that's why I'm saying those are important games in itself. Like, we're going to get the schedule tomorrow, and I hope there's a few opponents that we can figure out a little bit or be very competitive against. We're facing like 8 or 9 contenders to start out the season. That's very tough in itself. Maybe we'll get a team or two there because they're trying to gel with new teams that were assembled this past summer. That's where the Nets could get a win or two here, but not having to face a crazy group of contending teams right out the gate would be a bit beneficial to the Brooklyn Nets. Like if it's a mix, I think that would be a good way to start the season. You have some good teams, some middle teams, some bad teams, and we see where the dice falls with this young Nets squad in 20
So
games.
what's the problem with the cup schedule? They shitted on us. They gave us a bunch of hard people to play or something, or what's
Yeah,
the
I
gripe?
mean it's kind of like the East. I mean
It,
it's a
it,
schedule. It's a hard schedule.
it's Detroit, Orlando, and Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's the best chance we got in the Cup tournament because they're a very young team right now.
I'll be honest with you, bro. Like this isn't like it really depends on what type of attention to detail of what style we really want to play, bro. Because we really are like the only person that goes into detail of how we need to play is me. That's it, bro. Nobody else does. Everybody talking about what they want to see, man, from
Excuse
this
me?
person and
Hey,
that person, that and the third, bro. Like I'm talking. Hold on,
stop.
bro. I'm talking about maximizing the skill sets of the players that
Maximizing
we.
one damn player on a team of 12
No,
players?
I'm not. I'm not. No, easy. Hold up. Pay attention, bro. Like I'm talking about maximizing the skill sets of all of our players, bro. Like from and everybody that's going to be in the rotation, bro. What we can do best, like first and foremost. That's the thing, bro. Like if you still want to develop some shit, bro, I understand that. But the thing is, we had the two tanking seasons to do that, and really one for the rookies of last year and who are now sophomores this year. So realistically, the reason why I'm all in on going in on a certain skill set or a certain type of play or a certain strategy as far as team scheme is concerned, bro, is because I think this is the best ability that we have to compete night in and night out. And being that there's no real incentive to be very, very bad anymore because one, we don't own our picks, and two, they done switched up the draft scheme. So realistically, bro, like like it's one of the reasons why I stand 10 tones down on the same shit I've been saying for the last 75 damn streams. Wherever I've been, bro, wherever you see me on my shit, on Scott shit, on Bree shit, wherever I
Yeah,
go.
brother.
I will say this though. I think I like Leaf optimism, and this is why I like it because I know a lot of us want to get other players. We went to Trey Murphy's, we went to Jalen Duren's. We trying to get talent on here, but some of us is just we just know Sean Marks ain't gonna do no more with this fucking roster. This is what we got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So we
hey,
gotta we
that's
man.
gotta
true.
make do with what we got. We gotta make do with the Danny Wolves. We gotta
That's
make do
fair.
with the Nolan Treyors. We gotta make do with
That's
what
what
we
I'm.
got.
That's what I've been trying to say, Joey. Like the
No,
thing
I'm
is,
yeah.
somehow, some way, bruh, and I know people, and I know people still is hung up on free agency, and we still got money to burn, and this, that, the third. We all know that that front office ain't moving a goddamn finger, bro. When it comes to any of these free agents that's looking to steal money when they
Yep,
come
that's
over
true.
here for 4 years, bro, they
That's
not
true.
doing it.
That's true.
They're not just steal money. We can upgrade pieces. Leave. If you're talking about aging
They are
stars, that's other. But
But
thieves.
you
you're
can tell.
talking about
See,
young
They
some
are
people
players.
would say
thieves in
the Nets are
disguise, bruh.
Oh
some
man.
people would say the Nets are moving scary. Some would say they moving carefully. It just depends on who you talk to. But
Right,
Wait,
right,
can
right.
I say
they
this real quick? My fault for cutting you
go
off,
ahead.
Joey, but we made some moves. From what I know from right now, we don't have a whole big lump sum of cap space to go sign a max player. And even if we did, that's a bad contract if you because you already made your moves already. So that's going to hard cap you into an apron. So
Right.
you're not going to go after a max player. So whoever asking for players at this point of where we are in the season, the off season, what players are you asking for that's going to move the needle? Because it's not going to be a max player.
It's
So
not
who are
gonna
you
Zero.
asking
be
for?
zero. Yeah,
The
yeah.
Zero.
The only reason Franz and Trey get brought up so much is they're small forwards. MPG's a small forward. So if you want the cleanest upgrade situation, either one of these two guys fit the timeline better. And let's not that for right now. That could happen at next year's deadline, depending on how Orlando and Pelicans perform. If they're good teams, there's nothing you can do about that. But if they're bad
Uh-huh.
or middle teams, then the conversation gets loud, where we have an expiring contract,
I'm gonna
they
tell
have
you.
young
I'm gonna tell
people.
you why
It
those
doesn't
guys
The
fit the
matter.
mold.
upgrades are gonna happen without
They fit the
development, bro.
mold, right?
Leave,
There's a
leave,
couple reasons.
developing, leave. Come on,
Hold
man.
on.
Thank you. Stop.
The
All the
upgrades are
thinking
gonna
is
happen
It's
without
it's a couple.
development, bro. Like that's where it's gonna happen at. If it
leave.
doesn't happen without development, then we gotta then we got more draft picks in the future to go redevelop the shit, bro. Like, and
Leave.
then we gonna do that over again. That's more realistic than the shit about picking up a trade here or another trade there, bro. Like the trades
Leave.
that we
That's what
picking
you
up.
do to get
Hold
better.
on, hold on, John. The trades that we picking up are guys that are cast offs that that are done, that teams are done with them, and they still got big contracts. So we could chew those contracts up like Pac-Man, and then throw them out, bro. So we can have money to spend. So we could be just above what we need to spend so you can spend 75% of the cap like you're supposed to do in this CBA, like we've been doing. I guarantee you, we are going to come in this season probably bottom five in payroll, like we've been the last year and the last 2 years. Where
And what
that's
is
Yeah.
what
that
we're
going
going
to
to do.
accomplish? And what is that going to accomplish? That means you're too scared of what Joey said. You're neither in the middle or the bottom, but you're right there. So that's not a good
No, we're
strategy.
at the
Long term.
bottom because
That
everybody has us at the bottom. We're not,
is.
but the only teams that we're probably better than is the Bucks and who else? Somebody in the West, some dumpster fire in the West. That's it.
Are we
Memphis,
better than the
Memphis,
Kings?
Memphis.
Kings. That's it. The Sacramento Kings. The
Memphis,
Kings and the Bucks and maybe the Hornets.
And
That's
maybe
it.
Memphis. And maybe
No,
Memphis.
Or maybe
we better than
nothing.
I don't think
Memphis.
we
We
better
better
than the
than
Hornets,
Memphis.
bro. I ain't gonna hold
Joey
you.
We're not better
said.
than the Hornets.
Joey said, "I don't know about
Hornets,
Bro,
that."
I
Hornets,
think, bro,
Hornets are
who
really
the
decent.
Hornets got? They just got rid of Miles Bridges and Lamelo.
But
Why are
But
they
we
but
not
but
better than them?
yeah,
but
but
they got
they still
they
but
got
they got Khan.
Continental,
They got the
They got a
Brandon
They
lot of
got the
Miller,
other
veteran
kid that
pieces.
they
Miles
drafted
Reed.
from
Colin
Alabama.
Knapple's from Duke.
Dennis
He's a
Smith.
system
Oh,
player.
Okay,
stop
what about
with
the kid
the
from
Duke,
Alabama?
bro. Stop with the Duke hate, man.
What's the
Like
kid name
me,
from Alabama that played with Noah
We
Klein?
don't even know his name.
Brandon Miller,
Uh,
Brandon Miller.
Brandon
Yeah,
Miller.
Brandon Miller. They got still got
Oh,
him
okay.
Brandon
too.
Miller, bro.
okay.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
Yo,
Stop it.
Leaf. I get you're very high on this Danny Wolf
And they
stuff, man.
got
But you gotta get off
Kalkbrenner.
that
This
material,
don't
man.
got
You
nothing to
really
do
do.
with, hold up. Everything that I just said in the past 2 minutes ain't got nothing to do with Danny Wolf. I
Yeah,
didn't even
it
say
has
Danny
nothing
Wolf
to do
name
with
until that.
it. Eric, because every idea we suggest, you're like, no, we got to put Danny Wolf because he's going to drop
I didn't
27
say
points.
nothing about Danny Wolf. I said the rookies, bro. That includes our starting one and our starting. Hold
Man.
on. That includes our starting one and our starting two, and whoever else we're going to go forward with. We have a building block in the backcourt. We can all agree on that, which is why we don't talk about it as much. What we
That's
are
right.
talking about, bro, is the question marks, and I'm aware of the question marks, but I'm optimistic about one. And you already know the one that I'm optimistic
Oh,
about because I got a
man.
right to be. That's number one. Number two, I understand that everything that's coming from the front office to the coaching staff is they basically on the same page about allowing what they drafted in the last 2 years to give them a chance to somehow see what they can do and see what pans out from it. That's what they're seeing, bro. Like outside of the lottery picks, that's what they're trying to do. It's clear to me. It is clear as day. Because
Yeah.
if they was gonna sign Jalen Duren, he would have been signed already.
Again, it's a negotiation process. You can't just go get those
The
players. I'm
hell with the
being
damn
honest that there's a
negotiation.
negotiation
We got
process.
the money he want.
Again,
What's there to
it's not
negotiate?
just money.
Wait, can I
It's
say
picks
this
that
real
we
quick?
have to give up. It's other players besides MPJ. Like, Leaf, this isn't just like assembling a sandwich at Subway. You actually have to put a lot into it.
Wait. Hold on. Can I say this real quick? Let me just say this real quick because we really getting our hopes up high on Jalen Duren, and I think that's a false dream. Because
Yeah.
let's look at how the CBA and contract are set up. He is a restricted free agent, right? So he's still under that team.
Yeah.
That team, the Detroit Pistons, could give him the max money, more than what we could offer him. But he could go onto the market and see if he could get the most he could get is 40 million. Meanwhile, Detroit could pay him 60. If we were to offer him that 40 million per year contract, Detroit could match that contract and take him right back into their fold for cheaper than what they would have had to pay him for. So you,
Exactly.
as a team, making that move, trying to think you making a business move, you probably helped Detroit get a guy for cheaper than what they wanted to give him.
It all depends on the timing. If they're in deep September, late September, and this isn't done, again, they would be crazy to let this guy take a qualifying offer. Like, you can't let a 20-year-old center like that take a qualifying offer and lose for nothing. Like, Detroit will have to start thinking about maybe there's an exit strategy here because Brian Windhorst did say teams are waiting to see what Detroit does with Durant. Maybe Durant takes the $30 million salary that they're offering him right now. I keep hearing that's where the salary's around 30, 35 mil. He wants 5 million more consecutively, or at least for the first 2 years. Again, there is a big barrier there right now. So again, if this is in late September, this is still going on. They have to make a decision. They can't just take this down to the wire.
Or John. Detroit can do him like how they did Cam Thomas. They
But
could
Durant
jerk
is
him,
way
bro.
better than Cam Thomas, though. But Durant
Look,
is way
he
better
could.
than Cam Thomas,
No,
though,
no.
Jamal.
Look, he
We
could
didn't
take the
hear you, John.
qualifying. He could take the qualifying, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
Detroit could start playing with his minutes
Why would they
and
do
make
that,
him
though?
look
They're a team
bad.
that's trying to compete. Why would they do that, though? That's their only legit center. They have John
It don't
Collins and
matter
Paul
because
Lee
Yeah.
right now.
cause
Come on,
it's business
man.
at the end of the
Man.
day. If you're trying to fuck me over, I'm gonna fuck
Jamal,
you over.
Jamal. The reason why Cam Thomas is in the league is because he played against himself. He said he knew it all,
And,
and he didn't
and this
prove
is what
on
I'm
his
trying to
skill
say.
set, and he
I
got
So
think
beat.
Jalen Durant is doing the same thing.
No,
I
he's not.
think I think
He's going
Durant.
against money. Come
I
on,
think
Jamal. That's
Durant.
not my
John.
friend.
John.
Come on.
John. I
John,
think
if he don't get that
Durant
from
is not going nowhere.
but
Durant
but
is not
Scott,
going nowhere.
You have to see what
I don't
happens.
even know
That's
why
Scott,
not
we
the
even
finish.
talking
That's
about
not
if
it.
the
if
finish. Stop.
Wait,
That's
wait.
That's
not the
listen,
all
finish.
they.
now
That's the
listen,
Stop.
Scott,
only.
let me ask you a
Stop.
question. Let
Scott,
me
stop.
ask you a question, Scott, right? Can I just ask this question real quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If this man takes a qualifying offer, right? Depending on the
Yeah.
type of season he has, if Detroit want to jerk his minutes around, when he go into the off season, you think teams gonna be willing to pay him 30 plus a year?
No.
Wait. Let me say this real quick, Jamal. John does have a point, and this is where he
Right.
kind of strong arms the team in a little bit in a way because they gave up Isaiah Stewart, and they don't have another backup big.
They
So
only have
right
four
now,
leads.
if he don't play, they playing some weird small ball lineup, which JB Bickerstaff does not play at all. He mean
No. They're
business
going to
right
keep
there.
him. They're going to keep
Right.
him. They're going to pay
No,
him.
no, but my point is though, like he gonna get the playing time. He just gotta stay healthy. So like he gonna put up the numbers in the stats to warrant another contract. Now he might be able to get a contract from them again for a bigger payday if he could play it out like that. But
Right,
They
right.
they
I think eventually he will play it out because he's still going to be the second option, and ain't going to be a Saw Thompson.
they would be wild to not give him money. Look at Detroit's offseason. John Collins, Torian Prince, Isaiah Joe, I like that move. But other than that, they didn't make a lot of big moves this summer. Like, you still have Cade. You don't have a legit secondary scorer. And Durant, you don't want to pay him. You want to pay Austin Thompson, who is a great defender, but offensively, Thompson doesn't give you 20 and 10. Jalen Durant does. So if they don't pay him, let him walk. Let him take that
Uh,
qualifying offer and let
let,
him sign up for
let me
nothing
let me
next
introduce
year.
Pete.
Without
Let
giving a
me
contract.
let me introduce Pete to the stoop. What's up, Pete?
What's going on, boys? What are we talking
Not
about?
much. Did you
Hey,
hear about?
I
They're
got
talking
anything.
about the possibility of getting Duran.
How?
well, we living in the hype. No, wait, hold
I
on,
would
hold on,
like to
stop.
know.
Hold on, stop real
Is
quick.
this Pete from the Mets?
Real quick.
Yeah.
We're exploring a hypothetical. That's what we're doing. We're
Oh,
not
okay.
doing the possibility.
Okay,
All right.
Possibility
Okay.
means it could be there. We're exploring a hypothetical.
that's fair. That's
Again,
fair.
again, two scenarios. One is a sign trade. The other is he takes a qualifying offer to free agent next year and he goes to a team. Like, those are two scenarios where the Nets could work something out. Right now, the ball's in Detroit's court. Do they want to pay him? Doesn't look like it right now. But if he takes a qualifying offer, we don't have to give up any assets to get him in free agency next year. Like, that right there is already good on our side. We just have to figure out the financials at that point.
But they would. But John, why would they let him walk for nothing?
Again, I wouldn't do that. That's why if he doesn't like the money they want, they got to work out a sign trade with somebody because Durant's not happy with what they're offering him right now, unless he takes what they're giving him, which doesn't look likely at the moment.
I don't think you let him walk for nothing. Even if you don't want to pay him, you got to get something
I
back.
agree with you. See, we're on the same page about that. But again, that's where a team like us or any teams that need a censor right now should be seeing what business we can do with them.
And there ain't no business. I'm not paying over 40 mil, bro.
Um,
Like for him, bro. It's out of the
wait,
question.
wait,
I'm
wait, I'm
not
glad.
paying over
Wait,
30 mil for him, bro. Anything that we want, we're gonna have to overpay for, bro. And it's most likely one player. We
wait,
still gotta build the rest of our roster, bro. Like once MPJ and Julius Randle get up out the door, and then we still got him stuck chewing up most of the dollars. What are we gonna
wait,
do then?
wait. I'm glad Pete's here because Pete, what are your thoughts on Danny Wolf? Do you think he could drop 20, 10, and 5 and be our center of the future for the long run? Like, what are your thoughts on Danny Wolf?
Ain't no
Does he
sense
have
of
a
action,
high
Pete,
ceiling?
man.
Yeah, how many
No, I'm actually
players actually average 20, 10, and 5, right? Like, that's a lot.
right.
That's a big number. Those are big numbers.
Yeah. Do you think? Well,
No,
like,
they
what do you think?
ain't.
What do you think Daniel's role is? I see him as a floater big off the bench. Leaf thinks he could be a starting five and have one of the best offensive teams in the league because Danny Wolf could, play make and shoot threes and whatnot. Like, where are your thoughts on Danny? Is he
We
a
can unlock
part of the
Danny
future
Wolf.
or is he a movable piece to you? Like, what are your thoughts on him?
I like a Kelly Olynyk type of like role for him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
He's
So you
still
telling me?
young.
So you telling me we can't
It's
unlock him and
nasty.
make
That's
him Jokic
nasty.
light?
wait. Let Pete explain. Let Pete explain. So, okay, Olynyk. Okay. Okay. I could see that maybe as a floater big of sorts.
You know,
Okay.
I don't see him as an all star right now, but like he's still young, right? This is only his second year. He can come out and maybe he shoots the ball wildly and shoots 40% somehow, right?
Mhm.
Maybe he gets better. It's hard to tell, but from what we have seen from last season and from the summer league, which isn't a lot, that's the role that I see for him. I think he could be a starter on a good team. Could he also
Mhm.
be just a bench guy? Sure. Like it's still very early to determine all this. But does he have, a nice little how can I say this? His mold could take him to being a very good starter, right? So,
Mhm.
I it's still too early. It's very
Yeah.
early.
Where I disagree with Leaf is I just think Danny has to get away from the finesse mindset that he plays as a big because if you want to be a legit big, you got to rebound better. You got to show some type of defensive improvement. And Leaf just thinks offensively he will complement Michael Yeager, MPJ Randall. We're gonna have a top 10 offense, let's say. But again, you have to out rebound guys like Giannis, Wemby, Joker, Durant, etc. Like Danny's not going to do that, unless he improves. So I just think Leaf has to realize that Dayron is starting because he rebounds well. He's not afraid to be gritty like that. And just Danny Wolf we haven't seen that gritty side of his game yet. This summer league, he really didn't show. He showed a little bit of improvement, but you kind of saw the same things you saw last year, where he was just foul baiting. When people are just passing by him. So I got to see a bit more from Danny. And you have to remember, Noah Clowney's still on this team. He's going to be competing with Wolf for those backup
He is
4 minutes.
not competing with Wolf,
I
bro.
yeah,
Danny Wolf is light years better than that kid, bro. Come
I
on.
mean, no, listen, I like Danny Wolf. I'm with you that he might be better than Clowney, but again, there's still going to be competition because Jordy has to figure out from all these guys who's actually going to be part of this future. It's
The
not just going to
only
be
the
Andy for
only
Jordy.
person the only person that's better than Danny Wolf at the 5 or at the 4 is Julius Randle. That's it.
Wow.
I think Clowney's out. I think you
Yeah.
know, you know what I
Clowney
mean.
is
I think
definitely
that's over
out,
with.
bro.
Yeah.
That's definitely over with. I think this is going. Even though this is his last year of his rookie skill contract, the worst possible thing that could happen to the Nets front office is that he mysteriously goes off for some crazy ass numbers off the bench and then works his way into the starting lineup for our team, which is probably going to compete. But nobody has us winning over 30 games. Nobody has us winning. Very few people have us winning over 25 games, bro. Only some real optimistic people have us doing that. The reason why I said what I said about Danny Wolf is because I would like to believe that the coaching staff, bro, is gonna have 100% control to go all in on offense, bro, and stay not necessarily say F the defense, but we don't have defensive personnel. We just gonna have to deal with it on a team scale type of base and see what type of stops we could get on a possession from a possession type base going in game after game. I truly believe if I'm wrong about that, so what? I don't care about it, bro. Like, but I strongly believe that that the coaching staff is gonna go all in on that, bro. Like, but we just gonna have to figure out come after this next upcoming training camp and what it's gonna be. But me personally, bro, I don't see no harm in letting Danny Wolf start
I
with Julius Randle, MPJ, Mikel, and Yegor, but I really don't, bro, because we don't have shit to lose anyway, and this roster is already bad as it is.
you got to remember, you have 5 stars that each want to drop over 20 points. Dayron fits because we're not asking him to drop over 20 points. We're asking him to do the rebounding stuff, make some good passes, like set people up. Again, Danny Wolf likes to score. He wants to be that guy. But I think off the bench, he fits better because you have the defenders to protect his weaknesses. You have Minot, you have Ellis, even Powell. Like, you want to put Danny Wolf in a position to succeed offensively where we're not really questioning the defense as much because he can cook in the second unit. But you don't like that league for some reason. I think he would
The
fit
re-
well in the second unit right now.
the reason why is because I know that's not going to be the lineup to end game and end the close games in the fourth quarter. Dayron Sharp is not going to be on the court in the fourth quarter when it's crunch time, when it's time to win, when it's winning time. He won't. I know that for a fact, bro. The reason being is because the liabilities are still there. They're still there. They're still present with him.
But Danny
I
He's
think
still
Wolf,
gonna he's still gonna get 2 fouls off his game off his setting screens, and the rest of his fouls is gonna become being too late on the switch or being too late at the rim.
Danny's gonna get
I
into
think
foul trouble
Danny.
too,
Let
though.
me just say one thing, John, and then I'll let you go. I see Danny Wolf as more of a 4 than a 5. I think he's gonna get 5 minutes. I really don't like the Wagner signing. I'd like to see Danny
Mhm.
get those minutes instead, but I see him more as a 4.
Yeah, I'm with you
I
on
see him
the at the
more I see him
moment.
more as a 4. I see him more as a 4 too. But for this season and for how bad this roster is, and we already know Mo Wagner is probably gonna be compromised. One of the reasons why he's only signed for 2 years, 19 mil, bro. Like I see him at some point in the season starting at the 5 and starting with the other 4 players that I mentioned, bro, with Julius Randle, MPJ, Michael, and Yegor. And I see us finding something offensively with those 5 to where there's assist opportunities for everybody. There's 2 man action for opportunities for everybody. There's rebound opportunities for everybody. There's scoring opportunities for everybody. I'm not saying that, bro. Like Danny Wolf is gonna immediately be the end all be all out of that, but he can be the head honcho out of that because I feel like he's gonna have the biggest mismatch, bro, based on the fact that he could bring a lot of the bigs out. I want him playing the 5 because at the 4 and the 3, defensively, bro, like he's not gonna be able to do anything with them. At the 5, you don't need much but boxing out and rebounding because most of the 5s in the league are big dummies anyway. So you're gonna have to bring them out. So you're gonna have to get them to play more defense around the perimeter and around the areas of the court where Danny Wolf like to work, bro. We seen Danny Wolf come off dribble handoffs and curls, bro. Like what center is guarding that?
Again, I'm not saying Danny Wolf won't get opportunities to start this year. You have to remember back to backs, like what Pete said with Mo Wagner. He hasn't played more than 20 minutes in 6 years. It's been a while. And he's coming off ACL surgery. So again, Danny might get a chance to start when you're resting certain guys in certain situations. But again, Leaf, just like you mentioned Dayron's weaknesses, which I've mentioned multiple times, Wolf has similar situations. Not a lateral defender, not a shot blocker. Again, he could get into foul trouble too if he's asked to guard some of the best bigs in the NBA. I think as a backup four, it works because you can see the offensive playmaking, the offensive scoring, and you have defenders like Minot, Ellis, and Powell to cover his weaknesses. Like Leaf, again, I think he might fit well in our second unit unless he does drop a lot of buckets off our second unit to where that warrants a promotion. Then Leaf, you know what? You're right on everything you're saying. But I think Wolf right now is at best in our second unit right now.
I think Wolf is good enough to start regardless, bro. Because we're gonna have to somehow get him accustomed to start a minute soon. Being that outside of Julius Randle, bro, like he's probably the best 4/5 on our team, bro. Like outside of him, anyway. A lot of these other dudes are most likely gonna be going anyway. Dayron is only up for 2 years. Mo Wagner is only here for 2 years, bro. A lot of these players are rentals. I feel like Danny Wolf has a lot of most window, the highest window out of all of the rest of our depth chart in terms of the bigs to do a lot of things. I believe that he should be starting, bro. I like to get him accustomed to starting minutes and to get him accustomed and to get him on more reps. A lot of the weaknesses in his game, a lot of the things that people don't like in his game, is based on the amount of reps that he has yet to get. Repetition is more repetition. If he gets more repetition, I think the game will work out perfect for him, bro. Because a lot of the just basic creation and basic movements on the court he already has. It's everything is just going to be about read and react on both offense and defense on both sides of the ball. The boxing out assignments or making sure you don't lose the assignments, more conditioning and more up and down and more and more lateral stuff. I think that he's going to be capable of doing that just with more repetition, bro. If you want repetition for our goddamn lottery picks, who we got at 6 and 8, which I can understand, with Michael and Yegor, who hasn't even played a minute together yet, other than summer league. The repetitions could be there for Danny Wolf as well because we already know Nolan Trayor is going to be a backup point guard. We already know damn Drake, but we already know Drake Powell is probably not going to be playing. We already know Ben Seraph is probably not going to be playing. We already know Tyler Bilodeau is probably going to be in the G League. We already know Joshua Jefferson is probably going to be in the G League. Danny Wolf, bro, out of everybody that I said, and Noah Clowney, we have already given up on. Danny Wolf, out of everything that we got in the past 2 years, in terms of the 4 to 5, is gonna be here. He's going to be here.
So
These are
y'all so
facts.
y'all stock so y'all stock on Clowney, huh? There's nothing he could do this year to redeem
I
himself.
mean, but I think Clowney is who he is, but I don't necessarily. The thing about Clowney is, bro, like I don't necessarily know where his game could like leap over what Danny Wolf already is bringing you.
You
Just
know,
don't
Breezy
know.
mentioned Joey, Breezy mentioned an interesting scenario yesterday. Like, let's say Mo Wagner, does get injured again. Like, they could do a scenario where you move Noah Clowney to the 4 backup spot and you move Danny Wolf to the 5. Again, Leaf, you want to put Danny at 5? If the scenario Mo Wagner can't play, then Clowney does get a chance to play some minutes as that backup 4. I don't see a role for Clowney right now. But again, to your point, Joey, there's going to be some competition this summer because Jordy's not just going to keep Clowney on the bench during training camp. You're going to say you want a spot, earn it against your competition. So I think we're going to see a little competition in those two guys to see who really
I'm
wants
just
it.
saying, like, I'm not really high on Noah Clowney. I mean, we
Mhm.
saw him last year. It looked like he started off the season pretty
Decent,
strong.
pretty
We
strong.
saw
Yeah.
that he grew into his body a little bit,
Yep.
and as the season went along, it's kind of like he regressed. But however, with that being
Can
said,
I ask you one question, Joey? Do you think that has a lot to do with the rebuild? I mean, the tanking.
Um, I don't know.
I mean, I mean, from a player perspective,
But
how
he's one of the
hard would
Not
young
it?
players. He's one of the young
not
players
not
they
Well,
gave
really.
Right,
minutes
right,
to.
right, right.
Not
well,
really because listen, the
Okay,
best thing you can do for a young player is give them reps, is give them time, is give them playing time. And
right.
the Nets have been more than graceful to
Yeah,
Noah
that's true.
Clowney
That's
and
true.
giving him playing time and giving him reps. The
That's
thing
fair.
about Noah Clowney is that kills me is the body language. You know, he looks
Okay.
like he's defeated or
Like he ain't
well,
there or
well,
yeah,
something.
like he's slumping
Yeah,
his
I seen it too.
shoulders
I thought it was. I
well,
thought it might have been his
and
personality, but
so,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
so
Yeah,
what
you're right,
Joey
though. You're right.
so, so what Joey said, the most worrying part is he has gained weight the last few years as far as muscle goes. But he takes more threes than he does his interior games. Like there's few moments where you see him dunk the basketball, get to the free throw line, get foul calls. That's no Clowney we want to see more of last year. You saw it in spurts, but this guy's taking more threes than he's taking other parts of his game. But the most
Right.
shocking problem with
Listen,
him is his defense is abysmal. If you check his
But
stats,
but
every
that's the
time
thing, John. It's not even just the shooting, right? He has regressed with his defense. When
not,
when, when, when we first got Clowney, we were ecstatic because we was like, man, we need to pair Clowney
with
with
yeah,
Claxton.
Claxton. That's gonna be
yeah.
Right.
crazy.
And
And
it worked, and it looked like it worked. It looked like it worked for a while because both of them was very in sync defensively. Both of them knew what to do. I think in turn, like the thing with Clowney, I think the mental portion of the NBA got to him because we saw his frustrations about just being at the 3 point line, and Jordy was telling him to stay there. Clowney is set outside of all of our other players. Clowney sat through this tank the most because we got him during the Wimby draft.
I was just
You
about to say that. I was about to
you
say,
know
yo,
what I'm
I've been
saying?
sitting here
okay,
So the
okay,
for years
frustrations,
with y'all losing.
so the
The
mental
fuck?
the mental state of Clowney is probably is probably gonna be his undoing more so than all of the things that he already brings to the game. We understand that he's 6'10". We understand that he can block a shot, but we understand that he did put on muscle last year, but we didn't see much of it because the thing is we were still in tanking state. Now we in a competitive mode
but
in a competitive landscape, but I think that Danny Wolf has already exceeded the levels of the skill set levels that Jordy is looking for at the 4/5 or wherever he's most likely going to play this season.
let me land my plane with Clowney. The thing is, he's struggling at the 3 point line. Cool, I can live with that a little bit. I understand players are going to struggle with the 3 pointer. My thing with Clowney is, bro, you got to rebound the basketball. You're not rebounding the ball, and you're not playing defense. Those are two things we need you to do. So
It's
if your 3 pointer is shit and you're not giving us anything in other areas, it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard to play you.
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
regression.
Yeah.
Let me get this off. Yeah, John.
Go
Let me get
ahead.
this
Go
off real
ahead,
quick.
Pete.
I think he plays more like a three than a four. And as far as him not playing because of tanking last year, he did start 60 games, 27 minutes a game. He did play.
He
And I
played a
was
lot.
someone who was I was big on him. I thought the shot was going to get better. I liked how he played on defense as a help defender when Claxton was at center. I thought there was a little, connection there. But he hasn't done it. And I think he's more of a three than a four, unfortunately, with
You
that
know,
rebounding that you
you
mentioned.
know what's crazy, Pete? He's almost like a shooting guard too, though, because he takes so many damn threes, and it's like you like when he drives the ball to the paint, but he just likes shooting so much from three. But again, you have to add other elements to your game. But the regression on defense, that to me was really bringing him down
Well,
last year.
I tell you one thing:
Let me ask y'all a
Let
if
me
question
say,
though,
he's
right?
let me say,
if he's a
what,
three,
what,
hold on real quick. If he's a three, his ceiling has to be a 3 and D because Clowney don't got enough. He don't got no bag, bro. He has no bag.
you,
We seen when he
they
handled the ball, he beelines to the basket with his head down. He gets the ball taken. Like like so if he's going to be a three, he has to be a 3 and D guy, and he has regressed on his defense, and the 3 point shot is not there. So I don't
you
know
know
what to
what's
think of
crazy?
him.
You know what's
It's
crazy?
clearly
They, no, you go, Jamal.
Go ahead,
no,
Jamal.
because I was about to say it's clearly something that we not seeing. Because Jody out there playing him every night, so
Well,
it has to be a reason,
he
He
played them
playing
every
him
night.
because
He
he trying
played
to
them every
develop
night,
him.
but
huh?
he played them every night. and he stuck with him while he was struggling, bro. Like we going. The thing is, when we talk about minutes, bro, like when we talk about what players have done, we can only go off the seasons that we were told to lose. That's the we can only go off of, bro. Like, and a lot of what they was putting on the court wasn't systematically a thing together. Wasn't like we have a few good moments from these last two seasons to go off of, bro. Like that was the comeback against the Pistons and probably some other games. Maybe Jaeger going off against Orlando until Paolo ended that shit. So realistically, bro, like this is the season to really for everybody, and that includes Jaeger and that includes Mikal, for everybody to prove that they could actually be a part of this roster and be a part of something going forward, and that
That's
includes
fair.
Danny Wolf too.
That's
Yes,
fair.
it does.
Yeah,
I'm not leaving it out, but at the same time, I'm not leaving out throwing some shit at the wall because all we got is shit to throw at the wall. That's all our
to,
front office left us with.
to land the plane on the Clowney stuff, like when AJ from Nets Kingdom last year posted a stat line where Clowney had the sixth worst field goal percentage against him, like not blocking the rim whatsoever, that's kind of like scary because you're 234 pounds and you have to be a good defender at this stage of your game. And that was a huge downfall. I say for Clowney, he even said it. I do appreciate about Noah Clowney. He admitted at the end of this season, like, I've been inconsistent my whole career. I got to figure it out. But it's like, dude, you're up for a new contract. Time's a ticking. And now you have players better than you taking away your starting minutes. So now it's like you have to fight with Danny Wolf for a backup four spot. So I do agree with what Pete said. I just think the Nets are going to move him eventually in the future for something. I don't know what, but I feel like Clowney's time is drawing to an end, and it's a disappointment because this kid put work in the summer. We all can credit him for that much. He put work into his body with Long Island with the season. But again, when you get the opportunities, when Jordy starts you for majority of last season, and defensively you regress and offensively you regress, you have nobody to blame but yourself, unfortunately. And
Maybe,
Clowney's just
maybe.
trying to
John,
get some numbers points
I
right
don't think
Go
now.
ahead,
anybody
go ahead,
wants him,
Pete.
John. I don't think anybody wants him.
I don't think so neither. I think
No,
he's a 3 and D though,
I,
like Joey said.
Well, I agree with you, Pete, and that's why I think if the Nets do make a big move in the future, I can see Clowney as salary filler, a part of a package we assemble. Let's say that's where I see with no Clowney's future at the moment. I don't think he's
Oh,
staying either.
Listen,
I think it's a $5 million contract, so it's not that much of a filler. But I think I agree with you. Go ahead, John.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of times when you're in a losing situation, that plays a major part on your
of course,
mentality and how you play.
of course it does.
See,
If you've
I
been
don't
here
agree with that,
losing,
right?
You
Because
don't think so, Joey?
no, because I've seen players play good. Have you ever seen a player play good,
Yeah,
but
I
his
have.
team?
I have.
Hold on,
I
hold on,
have.
hold on. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen a player play good, but his team is shit?
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah. That's
you get it
I've
good
seen that.
individual, you can get good individual performances from a player on a shitty team.
I mean,
no,
I, I,
I'm not saying that it's not
Joey,
possible. I'm
but
just
Joey,
saying
outside, hold up,
he might not
wait,
be
Joey,
strong enough for you.
outside of the lottery picks, bro, like when that you've seen on bad teams, because we have seen lottery picks on bad teams,
yes, we
like go
have.
off, bro. We have seen Antonio McDyess on Denver. We have seen SGA, bro, on some of them teams, in OKC before they got to where they got. My thing is, how many of them niggas have been picked where Noah Clowney has been picked at
No,
and
you're
been
right.
going off?
You're right. That's a fair point. That's a
I,
fair
That's
I,
point.
that's one of to me that's one of the points where I get to. That's like, yo, when you usually when you at with Noah Clowney got picked at, bro, like you ain't looked at like this guy that's gonna
A
ascend past
savior.
the rest of the roster.
He's a
But
savior.
it's
Yeah.
You
very
got to
few
show the
diamonds
least.
in the rough. It's very
You got to
few
show the
diamonds
least
in the
on him.
rough that come that late in the draft. I personally think I'm not out of line for thinking that Danny Wolf is one of them.
So
we'll have to
here's
see what
my
happens.
thing. That if you saying it like that, then you're throwing them a lifeline. Why we sitting here shitting on them? Because at the end of the day, Noah Clowney is still the same age as Danny, right? Ain't they around the same
Yeah.
age?
They are around the same
Also,
Yeah,
age,
they're
but
around the same age.
Clowney been in the league longer. That's all.
Correct, correct. But they're
also,
still around the same age.
also,
Right.
we
But
drafted Jefferson. I
go
was
ahead,
going to
John.
say we also drafted
If you
Jefferson.
talking to me, I can't even hear you. I'm gonna just jump back in the chat.
Okay, Bruce. Yeah, I was just gonna say we also drafted Jefferson and Bilodeau, who are competing at the same position as Clowney. So again, it's now a numbers crunch. And Jamal, I get what you're saying. We were in a bad situation as a team, but he still got the nod to start. and grow his game, and he just didn't take full advantage of that. That's
Exactly,
on
John.
him.
No, no.
Exactly.
That's
What I'm
still
saying, what
on
I'm
him.
saying, it might show you that he's not mentally strong. If you get
Eh,
what I'm saying,
no, I
right?
hear you on that one.
Some
Yeah.
people could push through it, some people can't, right? Because you got
Mhm.
people where it's like, if I'm in a losing situation, I'm bringing the whole team down now because I'm in the locker room, I'm throwing things, I'm upset, I don't want you near me. You got those type of players, like you know what I'm saying? That can't really, they can't grasp the whole losing thing. They can't get their stuff out of it. Let me ask you
Yeah.
a question, Pete. In college, what what was he a number one or a number two on this team?
He was a two, right? He was a two behind Brandon Miller, I think.
So
A two or
he
three.
was like the second player like to get all the touches then, right?
Yeah, he was.
So I don't know. Maybe it's hard for him to transition to this college. I mean, from college to NBA because it is two different games. And plus, he's just not. He might not be the man on this team.
He just became too much of a 3-point shooter. When you're 234 pounds and over 6 feet, like what was it, 6'10", 6'11", you have to show a bit of progression. And just standing by the 3-point line is not what we're asking for at year 3. So I just feel like
Okay,
the
so
numbers games
maybe
against him.
maybe it's a little bit of everything. Maybe it's a little bit we was a bad team. Maybe it's a little bit he's still young. Maybe it's a little bit hey, it's gonna take him a little bit more time
Yeah,
because
Maybe
he's a
maybe
late first
maybe
round
maybe
pick.
it's a lot.
Maybe it's
Maybe
a
it's a lot
mixture
of
he
of
got
this
to
is the
all
year
those
develop.
to really
things.
prove it. This is the
But
year to
but
really prove it with
but this
players
stuff.
that still on those type of contracts because the thing is that for the players that got picked in the last 2 years, realistically the most they have is like 2 more years, maybe 2 or 3 more years on this roster, maybe. But a lot of our problems has been disappeared just because the tanking rules had changed. It hasn't
Yeah,
disappeared.
yeah. The
But
new team,
but
the
what
new
what
you go
does
through.
that say about our development then? Like
It's it,
we're not
It
developing these
says
players
it
then.
says it's time to hurry this shit up.
it's
That's what
it,
it says.
Jamal, that's just a reflection off this front office. The best player that's been developed the last 10 years right now is Daron Sharp, and he's now getting a chance to start, but he's really a good backup. And honestly, I hope we keep Daron no matter what happens with our center position, how we figure that out. Daron is still a valuable part of this team. But again, Jamal, that goes on Sean and Joe. They've had to make do with where they drafted the last few years with some bad lottery luck, which Michael Yegor in itself, that's worked out because those guys are making it a point to work out as a duo. But overall, our draft record's been bad because, for one, these guys don't get the proper investment and they don't develop their skill sets or get better at a high level. So that's on the front office. They just haven't
Yeah,
done it as well
the
as they think they could have done.
the best player they develop is not on our team no more, and that's
Who's
Who's
that?
that's
that?
Jared Allen.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't develop him.
Well,
They
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 didn't.
kind of did.
They kind of did.
They kind of didn't, bro.
They did.
Oh, okay.
They
Y'all
did
They
still
though.
didn't.
you know what? We still talking about this. Listen.
We still
No,
talking
no, no.
about that, bro.
Wasn't.
Jared Allen, bro. Jared Allen didn't become 2019 and 10 as a net. He didn't become
No,
a
no,
top
I'm
10
Yeah,
saying
but
center
he
in
I'm
the
was
league
saying
as a
blazing the
net.
I'm
way
saying
though, Leaf.
the
Come on
development
now.
the development started here
Listen,
though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Jared Allen got paid because of the Nets, man.
Yeah,
Did
that's
he
true.
really, or did he get paid because Cleveland ain't have no other choice?
well,
Nah,
Jared
man.
Allen.
Nah, man. You trying to
Who
Go
put
ahead,
who
Jared
was
Pete.
Allen
Cleveland
too
center?
much.
Who was Cleveland center? Bro, before he got there, bro. Like because LeBron had left in 2018, so we still had him through
Okay,
2019 in the bubble, and
so
then we
so so
got rid of
here's the
him in
thing, right?
2021.
Here's the
Who
thing.
was on that
Y'all,
Cleveland
hold on.
team?
Y'all want to sit
Nobody.
up here and say, "Hey, look at where we was picking these guys. They were getting just like you said about Clowney. Look where he's getting picked at." But then turn around and say, "Yo, we ain't never developed nobody." That's not true. We
I'm not,
haven't
bro.
listen. We
Like
haven't been
if we
getting top
taking credit for Jared
priority
Allen,
picks.
that's the lowest of
We
the
haven't been
low.
getting top priority picks like the
Well,
fucking Hornets, like the
just,
Wizards, like the
just,
Pelicans.
just to be fair about the Allen
We
stuff,
literally just got our two freaking sixth and eighth pick these last 2 years. All the
and
Yeah.
other
then
guys were late first
Yeah,
round
I
picks
listen.
and second
I
round picks.
understand. I understand that, Joey. I'm right there with you in
So
terms
hold
of.
on. So to say we didn't develop, and I'm gonna say this right, even though we didn't draft these guys, we helped develop Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie got paid. We helped. We helped revamp D'Lo's career and help develop him.
Sure enough,
D'Lo got
did.
paid.
Sure enough,
We
we
did.
helped develop
Right,
Karis
Pete?
LeVert.
what we did with Jared Allen
You
is we
right,
introduced
correct.
him.
Okay.
We helped develop Jared
I
Allen. So hold
Wait,
on. So
listen,
don't sit up there and say
Joey,
we never developed
Joey. Hold
nobody.
on.
When we were in the shitter and we were scraping niggas off the streets, we were developing them niggas. I think a
Joey,
lot of y'all forgot about that.
Joey. My only
Even Bruce
pushback to that
Brown.
is my
Bruce
only
Brown
pushback
developed
to
on
that is
us.
my only pushback to that is this:
that wasn't a drafted
if
player.
Jared Allen, if we hanging our head on the fact that Jared Allen, who hasn't been on this team since 2021, bro, is the player that we developed, bro, at that outside of the draft, and niggas like Karis LeVert is basically hanging on to a thread off the bench somewhere. Dinwiddie, we don't know where he
But
is.
here's the thing, Leaf.
D'Lo, we don't know
You're
where he
talking about
is.
now. What I'm saying is, when those young boys was on the Nets, they played themselves into money.
Yeah, they
Dinwiddie
Yeah,
did.
got
like
paid after he left here. D'Lo
yeah,
got paid after he left here. Jared
I
Allen
understand.
got paid after he left here. The Nets
I
Pete, I
played
don't
understand.
hear
Joe.
you,
I
The
Pete.
Nets
understand,
paid Joe Harris, which
Joey.
Pete, come
ended
I
up
out.
being a
understand exactly what you're
One
saying,
second.
but
right.
the
One second.
What
problem
I'm
is
saying
that
is,
Let
there's a
Pete
new
come out
craft
and
of
come back in, Pete.
players. There's a new
Come
craft of players now, bro. So
but
now
my
we
thing is,
got to
I
prove
just
that
don't
we could
like that.
develop a whole
Don't
new
sit up here
craft
and
of
say we
players.
never developed nobody because it's not true. It's not.
Listen, if you want to hang your hat on the Jared Allen development, bro, go right ahead, bro. Like I'm not.
But
Listen,
Wait,
I'm
Pete.
not. I'm not
y'all
about to
talking
go back
about
and forth
we
about
ain't
that.
developed
Wait.
nobody.
Hold
wait,
on.
About five rookies
Hold
who
on.
played
Hold
one
on.
fucking
can
Hold
I say
season
on.
one? Can
and
I say
saying
one
we
Hold
ain't
on.
thing?
Hold
developed
on. Hold
nobody.
on. Hold on a second. Pete, come out and come back in.
Let me just say one thing about the Allen thing for clarification. We introduced Allen to the league and helped him become a starter. Cleveland helped him become an all-star. You have to be very
Uh,
specific about how this all
Can I
came to Jared Allen. Again,
can I
we
just say
helped him
this?
develop in certain areas, but he developed the muscle aspect when he went to
Listen,
Cleveland. I wish he was in a
John,
gym when he
listen,
Jared
went to
listen.
Allen was
position
I'm
in
gonna
on
the
tell
his
you.
way
position.
already,
I'm gonna
bro.
tell you. I'm
He
gonna
was
tell you
on
something,
his
right?
way.
I'm gonna
He
tell you
might have been
something.
on his way, but he
Development,
too took off
He would have
heavily.
did the same
development.
thing if he stayed with the
Look,
Nets.
development went out the window as soon as
we
we
don't
got
know
KD
that.
and Kyrie.
We
Development went out
exactly.
the window.
Thank you, Jamal. The thing is, when we went in all on the big three, they got rid of Jared Allen because you know what? In the players that we might have to fucking pay, right? We might have
Right.
But
to invest in because you know what? We got a big fucking three right now. We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
three niggas who's eating up our salary cap.
Yep. Sure enough.
But listen, that was
Yeah.
years ago. And you want to talk about developing players? We just had Noah Clown. We just talked about Noah Clowney starting 60 games, 27 minutes a game with a horrible field goal percentage and not shooting well
And
from
and
three
and
and not playing well
You
defense.
know
in a
We
what,
let
year
him
Leaf?
where we're
play.
That's
supposed to be
fair. But then
tanking.
don't sit there and say that. And then Leaf, on the other hand, saving him, saying, well, he got picked in the back of the draft. So that's kind of fear he's not. Give him
But
some
we're letting him
time.
get
But
developed,
but
right?
but
You
a
how do you
lot a
develop a
lot
But
of a
then
player
lot
by
of
again,
these
letting him play?
but hold up, wait. A lot of these conversations, bro, is basically sort of double-edged swords, bro. On one end, we picked them at the back of the draft. On another end, oh yo, we picked somebody else at the back of the draft, but they winded up
yeah,
on Cleveland,
but
bro.
y'all
Those are
sitting here
different
thrashing him
topics.
because he hasn't turned into
Yeah, no,
Giannis.
no, no. But we got to understand that this is a different crop of players. Like, no, there's nobody on this. There's nobody that we picked in the last 2 years that's like Jared Allen. These are
I
facts.
understand, but
So,
Leaf, these niggas, but the players you're talking about played one season of basketball, and yet the the story is out that the Nets can't develop. The
Leaf,
Mm.
jury is out that they can't develop. They played one
so,
fucking season.
Yeah,
Leaf,
that's
if you
fair.
had,
That's fair, Joey.
Jesus Christ.
wait,
That's
so Leaf,
fair.
If you had a choice right now, who's the better center, Jared Allen or Danny Wolf?
Jared Allen right now.
Okay, there you go. So again, why are you discrediting the guy, man? Again, listen, we introduced Allen to the NBA.
But
He
but
showed
but
some
but
skills, but he
I'm
can't pick
hold
it
up,
up
but
elsewhere.
I said Jared Allen, but that doesn't have nothing to do with what went down in 2021 and with 2021 or the seasons that he was on the Nets. None of that has nothing to do with him now. If you would have said Nets Jared Allen or Nets whatchamacallit, bro, like then we would have remembered the minutes that Jared Allen put in
Listen, all I'm
2019.
saying is the guys that you are saying that we can't develop, you literally said yourself, we picked in the back of the fucking draft. So listen, even
Yeah.
though we may have not struck gold with some players in the back of the draft, were you really gonna put that on the organization and say they can't develop?
I mean, Joey, I want to agree with you that
Listen,
we have developed some players, but overall, the draft record is mediocre at best. But we have developed a few players here or there. But
We
it's
have,
overall
but
been
we
mediocre.
develop with less. That's what I'm saying. You're
But
I don't even know why we even talking about the Danny Wolves and the Nolan Treyors and the Diego Demens because they only played one season. So how
Right.
the jury is out already that we can't develop them is
That's
crazy to me.
fair, Joey.
well,
That's
well,
fair,
well,
Joey.
Logan
But
might be the first real thing we develop in 10 years. So again, Joey, I'll be on the same page with you on that one if it comes to fruition. But we got to see it play out. I hope it
but
Yeah.
I
plays out
also
like
I
that.
also also like Jay from BK said the other night. He said the weak Whitehead they gave up on.
Well, he gave up on himself. That guy said, "Keep me in the G
No,
League." You
no.
don't say
At the
stuff
end of the
like that.
day,
You don't say
he
stuff
was
like
still on
that.
his rookie contract.
Yeah, but
They could
Jamal,
have
you don't say
they
you don't
gave
want
up
to
on
play
him. The
in the league.
development, well, it was only 2 years. 2 years they
Again,
gave him.
again, he was
He
unhealthy.
was a
That
gamble, Jamal. That was a
yeah, he was a
Yeah,
gamble.
big game.
but I'm saying, but you get what I'm saying. If you're gonna let somebody develop, then you got to give them more than 2 years, right?
Yeah, but
We
Jamal,
got
sometimes I see hear what you're saying, but sometimes you gotta know when to cut your ties, man.
Yeah, he literally told them, "I want to stay in the G League. If they want to call you up, you should be excited about that. Don't say, oh, I need to stay in the
You
G
you
League.'
can't you
You
can't
don't say
throw
that.
Derek Whitehead out there unless Derek Whitehead left the Nets and is playing better than when he was with the Nets.
He's not. I don't even know where he is.
So
OKC,
you
Minnesota.
can't. I mean, I don't know.
the reason why I'm saying that, right? Because we're gonna have these rookies, right? Just like how Derek was a rookie, and they
Yeah,
they, they canceled him. They canned him after 2 years. They're going in. They're going into this draft right now. This is the second year for most of these players, like Ben Sarai, Drake Powell. Will they do the same thing to them?
but see, you know what? It's different with Derek Whitehead because you got to understand Derek Whitehead got drafted hurt, so the Nets took a gamble on him. They just don't think his body is able to withstand being an NBA player. They don't feel like he's an NBA player based off his injury history. So
We
it's a difference.
Drake Powell has to step up this year. For a guy who has all the defensive athletic tools, Drake Powell has to force his way into Jordy's trust
John,
circle this
John,
year, man.
John.
He has
If
to.
if if he has a horrible season, are you saying he cannot get any better and the Nets should just cut him?
No, I'm saying that
No.
I'm saying he has to get out of his mindset because this summer league was embarrassing when he looks like he put on weight. I think he put on 15 or 20 pounds of muscle since
No.
last year.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I
Like
thought
that
you were
was
gonna say
summer
fat.
league, man. We got to
no,
use that as a grain of salt.
no, because
Exactly.
at the end of the day, like you have Minot, who I like, who's proven why he should be playing off the bench. You also have right now MPJ at the moment, like for Drake Powell, he has to force his way into conversation because he's kept saying, "I need a coach to trust me. I'm in my hotel thinking about all my lapses." Like this guy needs to get out of this "woe is me" mindset and just ball out there, man. He has the tool set, but this year's big for him because Jordy doesn't trust him. The Keon Ellis move, that
You
was a
know that
full
Jordy doesn't
on.
trust him.
Listen,
Uh, he sent him down to the G League, and literally out of Drake Powell's mouth,
So
he
same thing
said,
with Ben Saraf, Nolan and Nolan Traore.
"No, I'm used
He's
to
Yeah.
still
the,
young.
but I'm
listen.
used to
This
the
is what I'm gonna
example."
say. If the
But,
Nets don't hit on Mikel or Yegor, then I gotta say people got a right to say we can't draft or we don't know how to develop.
P,
You're not gonna sit there and pin that on some players in the back, putting that on us from some players on the back of the draft that was barely gonna stay in the league anyway. You not. I'm
the
not buying it.
Pete, the
Yeah.
Keon Ellis move, which was a good move in my opinion, again, that was a Jordy move because Jordy and him played, in Sacramento together. He coached that kid, and that kid took Drake Powell's backup minutes at the two position. That there kind of tells you that the trust circle between him and Jordy is not good right now. So I was just pointing that out there.
Listen, I'm here to
Ellis,
tell you
listen,
X
listen.
rule is
Ellis,
go
we might
ahead,
not hit
Pete.
on most of the players we picked in the late first round. We might
listen.
hit on
Ellis,
one of them between Danny Wolf, Yegor. I mean, excuse me, between Danny Wolf, Powell, and Ben Saraf, we gonna hit on and Nolan. We gonna hit on one of them, one or two,
Yeah.
listen. Ellis
maybe
is a
two.
short-term move. We're not looking at this guy as a long-term piece. Powell
Well,
has more potential to be a long-term piece because of his age, right? Sometimes guys take 3 years, 4 years to
I
carve out
say
their
that.
role. You
Right.
I
know,
agree.
Yep.
I agree with you, but Drake Powell has to offensively figure
he
out. I
doesn't
think
have to do
no,
anything.
no, but hear me out. I think defensively, Drake Powell could be one of our best defenders on the team. We saw Summer League
He could.
defensively; he was very solid. Like I want Powell to play main minutes, but Jordy's the one to be pulling all the strings. The Keon move takes Powell out of the two. Now he's competing at the three with Minot, and Minot's made a solid case to be the backup three. So I feel like for Drake
Listen,
Powell. He's got to get out of that mindset of this introverted side of himself and just bowl when he gets the opportunity.
Powell is gonna get minutes, John, but he's still young.
Yeah, we
I
still got him
Yeah.
for 3 more years, man.
I
But
hear you, but he
Yeah.
can't be dropping under 10 points for the next 2, 3 years. That's all I'm saying. That would be
He
worst case
might get under.
scenario.
It's a very great chance he gets under 10 points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What are we
because he ain't
talking
gonna shoot
about?
the ball like that. Yeah.
but then he's a trade chip just like Noah Clowney. Like again, you have to
Who
make a
wants
trade.
him? Who wants him
Well,
right now? He's just a young prospect.
again, when we make a big upgrade move, guys like Drake Clowney, they're going to be packaged together to make a big move if they don't cut it on this team. They're not just going to waive them all. Like, that would be a stupid thing just to waive
Powell
everybody that doesn't work out on this team.
Powell is on a rookie contract. He's probably going to be on the if he's not moved in a deal, he's going to be on the team just because of his contract and the potential that he
yep,
shows. You know, like
exactly.
yes, he didn't
Yeah.
shoot great, but they're going to give him plenty of time to work on it. Maybe he plays in the G League this year and he balls out, right? It takes time. It's not a 1 year thing. It's not a 2 year thing.
Yeah.
I
Again, I
think
agree
we just
on those things. Just get
impatient as
hands on
fans, and
every
we just
time.
waiting to
There you go, Joey.
hit on a player like right
Yeah.
away.
That's true. Fans are
Listen,
always
Again,
impatient.
front offices, they look at this like a 3 year, 4 year type of thing. It's not a year to year sort of thing. They make out plans. They list the free agents who are going to be, available a year ahead of time on their boards, and they look and they throw out these scenarios of what could happen. This is how teams
Right.
actually work. They don't say,
well,
okay, let me look at this roster. Okay, Drake Powell was horrible this year. Cut him. It doesn't work
so
like that.
Nah, they
So,
not gonna do that.
so we're trying to look at like who could break out here. Pete, do you think Cheney Johnson made a case this summer why he could be play over some of our draft picks? And he's on a 2A right now. He did out hustle some of our draft picks, and he's what, like 23, 24, something like that. He's a little older, but
24.
again,
He's
he didn't.
24. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he didn't start playing actual NBA basketball till he got to the team like 8 months ago. So does he make a case in your mind to play over some of these rookies? Sophomores, I mean.
I think he's gonna have a great look in training camp. And
Mhm.
you know what? Like the Nets might look at this and saying, this guy hustled his ass. Like he
Yes.
might hustle his ass into like a spot on the roster. Like actually,
Right. Right.
like for real. He
But
might.
we
Right.
don't know the mindset of the front office, right?
Correct.
Because that can be true, but also the politics can get in the way. And they're like, yeah,
100%.
Cheney is a little bit older, he's better, but we need to invest in these draft picks that we picked. You
Right.
100%.
understand? So
Yeah.
I can see it kind of going both ways, to where they're giving Cheney a chance, and he's motivated, and he actually makes the team and makes a difference and gets playing minutes. And I can also see the politics getting in the way of him getting real NBA minutes, because we got so many young players that we drafted that we have to develop.
It's the only problem is you have a log jam with your bench running. You have like 7 to 8 guys that let's look at the starting lineup. You have Michael, Yegor, MPJ, Randall, and Dayron. There's 5 right there. Then off the bench you
But
have
you gotta,
No
yeah, but that's every starting five in the NBA. You gotta look at it through positions, right? At center, you can make an argument that they're a little light there, right?
Yeah.
The only thing
Name.
that he will be guaranteed 100%, he will get a great look in training camp.
Right,
I
but
think
I will say this: Jordy may be in the mindset to where, hey, the cream will rise to the top, and you got to earn it. Who's ever
that
playing the
100%.
best will get playing minutes.
And that's why I think Leaf has to cool the Jets on the Danny Wolf talk, because Cheney Johnson was like 6'7", 6'8". He played at center. That young kid, Dane Danger, who was rebounding well, is like 6'8" or something. Both those guys played at center and looked very impressive in their limited minutes. I think both of them will get looks at training camp. So again, like you're right, we're very thin at center. I think our starting center is still out there in the market somewhere. But Dayron will be a part of our center unit in some form or fashion. Right now, it's as a starter, but after that, like to what you said, Pete, it gets very bad. So guys like Cheney Danger got to stay ready because their time could come this season if they get called up or they get promoted, let's say. So, but you also have a logjam of guys like the Terrence Manns, the Serafs. They're just taking up your roster space right now, and eventually you have to figure out how to move that off the team somehow.
But it's not even Dayron Sharp you got to worry about. You also got to worry about Wagner because he gets hurt a
No,
lot and
he
he
hasn't
can't
played.
stay healthy.
He
So
hasn't,
if
yeah.
he's out, you down one center.
Yeah, like none of our bigs can get hurt this year. If any of our bigs
Yeah.
get hurt, like our record just goes like that crap will like it'll be bad. Like
So
you,
I
I
Well,
don't
we
don't
think
know.
there's
wouldn't
We're
be
gonna
the
anyone
start
only
can.
seeing a
team
lot
like
of
that.
maybe they call up Danger, maybe they call up Cheney.
Yeah, they'll
Maybe
probably
maybe
call
maybe
up
we see a
Danger.
little bit of Danny Wolf at the five.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
Yeah,
might
maybe
call
we
up
see a little bit
Danger.
of Randall at the five. I don't
I
know.
keep
They're
I
gonna
keep
have to
hearing
start getting creative if one of these centers get hurt.
I keep hearing Julius Randle might play the five in closing minutes if they don't trust Dayron because offensively he's not there. Like they might just
Who
do
told
something
you?
where nah, a couple guys who've been chatting with. I don't know who it was specifically, but I heard some people say, "Oh, there could be a scenario where you could put Randall at the." Oh, it was Gary. It was Gary. You talk about like playing Randall at the five, MPJ at the four, and that was if we got Watson or something, which I wouldn't do. Like you
Wait,
can't play
I
MPJ.
don't think that's crazy. I don't even think that's crazy
It's
at all
pretty
to
good
say that,
though.
right? I don't think so at all. I said that earlier. I
I
could see that happening very easily.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
it's
like
just
very.
it.
think
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
like
Go
it
ahead,
though.
Pete.
good.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the way that Randall plays, he's a very good fit for Jordy's offense. You know, like they're gonna give every opportunity to Dayron to see what he got because he's gonna be a free agent, very soon.
Very
And they
so.
have to determine if this guy is gonna be a guy who's gonna be in their long term plans or not. So
I
I
think
think
So
you're gonna see Dayron
I
be
think
the
they.
main
I I
five.
I
I
I
think,
think I said it on Twitter and people thought I was bugging. I said I wouldn't be surprised if if Randall plays a good amount of small ball five this year for us.
I
And like I said, I feel like if we go to that small ball five rotation, I feel like they're going to put Julius Randle at the five. You know what rotation I want to see? I want to see Nolan Trayor at the one. I want to see McCall at the two. I want to see them. I want to see them move Yegor to the three and bump MPJ up to the four and Randle at the five. That's a small ball
That's
five.
fun. That's
I
Now,
fun.
mean,
I'm not
Yeah, that
saying that
sound
to be the
good.
say all be all, but if we was to do a small ball five, I would like to see that.
That
I,
sound fun.
I think that's definitely an experiment worth considering as far as just like to what Leaf's whole theory about having a good five that can all do stuff offensively. That can maybe work in some spurts. But to the Dayron thing, no matter what happens with Dayron as a starter this year, long term plans, you keep him as your backup for the future when you're ready to get that legit big. Because Dayron, the rebounding is so invaluable, especially for our second unit. We see Dayron play very well almost every year against second unit teams. And eventually you want to get him back in that role. You look what the Knicks would do with Mitchell Robinson before they got
But
Towns.
John, you can't
Well, no, wait. I'm
you
gonna
can't
say before they got Towns, Mitchell was their five. Then they moved him to the backup, which actually made his role even better for their team. So I can envision a similar thing with Dayrod, where they keep
So
him
John, let me
but
ask you
John,
a
yeah.
question.
you
You
can't say
don't
that
think
about
Dayron?
Dayron yet, really. Because
Yes, I
You don't
if he
can.
think
does have
Dayron
a
can be?
breakout, if he
You don't
does
think
have a
Dayron
breakout
could be a
season,
starting
it
five in
changes.
this league? You don't think he could possibly take a jump this year and be? I feel like if Mitchell, now granted Mitchell Robinson is good, but I feel like Dayron has a chance to show what he got and possibly show that he
I
could be a
think he
starting
can.
five.
I think so.
I think the best thing as a starter is like 13 and 10, which I'm totally fine with. But again, that's going to do like 20 and 10 or whatever. That's not his role. You already
No,
have
he's
four
not
guys.
getting that.
No,
But
I
but
know,
that's
but
the danger. We don't need him to get that. We need
I
Dayron
know.
to get his Windex and his paper towels and clean that
Clean
glass
up.
up.
That's
I,
right.
I,
That's right,
I,
Joey.
That's what we need
again,
him to do. We don't need
But we don't
Dayron
know
shooting
what he's
five
gonna do.
threes and
We
going
don't know
off for
what he's
20
gonna
plus
do in his
points.
starting role. That's the whole
again,
thing. We're
again,
assuming. We don't know what
again,
he's gonna
I,
become.
Again, the rebounding is the biggest strength he has. And again, he can do the same thing as a backup in the future when we get a legit starting big. Like, again, I want to keep Daron long term, but as a starter, I just don't see it as a long term
Okay, all I'm saying
solution.
is we just gotta wait and see. I'm not counting Dayron out.
Me
I'm not
neither.
trying to. I'm not saying he's going to be it or starting five, and then I'm not saying. Then I'm not counting him out either. I
Everybody
think
on
I
the
think it's a
team,
50-50 shot with Dayron for
yeah,
real.
everybody on the team can't average 20
I
points
mean,
a
because here's
game.
the thing. Like, yeah, Dayron does have his flaws, but I did see Dayron hold his own against starting centers in the
It's
league
Yeah,
only
for us.
I agree with you, but I think if he has a good year, they're still going to try to keep his contract. Like, let's say they give him like maybe a $3 or $5 million bump. Let's say his next contract's like 15 and 15 the next 2 years afterwards as a backup. I just see they know where he is financially with him. Even Dayron, who I've heard in previous comments, he's not really focused on. He's more focused on the impact as a player, but he also does want to get paid. I just think the franchise sees the long term role with him as the backup when you're ready to get your starter, which I'm totally fine with. I like Dayron,
I
what he
don't
did
see
for
that.
you. It's
I
just
think the
not
organization wants to give him a chance to prove he can be a starting five in this league, and they're going to give it to him, and they're going to see what he has, and then they're
I
yeah,
going to play,
agree.
and then depending on the outcome, depending on how they're going to play it. That's,
right. X Ruler, what's up, X Ruler? What about when Dayron started and played against starters? Remember when he had a triple double and almost had 30, 10, and 10?
I think that's that one game against OKC where I admit I remember that game. That's a game I look back on because it was against both Hartenstein and Chet. Again, that was one game. Like, listen, Dayron can give you what he can give you. I just want to keep him in a long term role that he's really good at. Off the bench, the guy's a killer out there with the rebounding. He works well with guys like Nolan, good guards and good defenders around him. I just think as a starter, to what Joey said, like he's going to catch, reload the ball for the other guys. It's just I think long term they're not going to commit big money. As Pete said, like if Darren has a good year, are they going to pay him more money or are they going to give him like a slight bump and move him back to his traditional role as a backup big, which I kind of see that happening, regardless if he has slightly better results than what some people think. I just
I
see his
think they
long term
taking
role
a
as a
gamble on
backup.
Dayron. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I think
They
they
rolling the
giving him
dice
a
with Day
shot.
Day.
Yeah, they
Day-
rolling the dice.
Daron's like an Andre Drummond prototype, which I think he's even better than Drummond at this stage of his young career because he rebounds so exceptionally well. It's just you want to keep that in the backup role when you're ready to get that legit big. Pairing a legit starting big next to Daron will literally give you over 20 rebounds in your center unit if you get that type of starting big to match Daron's rebounding abilities. Like I just think the Nets have to address that
So,
issue
so what
eventually.
you think is a fair stat line for Dayron,
But,
John? And please don't
but,
say 2010
I,
and something.
I'm being realistic. I'm being realistic with like 13, 10, and like 3 or something like that.
How?
13. What do you mean?
Okay,
Well,
Randall. Randall scored 20 points last season. MPJ 20 points last season. You want Yegor to score more than 10 points, I would assume. You want Michael Brown Jr. to score more than 10 points. So we're gonna have 5 guys starting in double digits?
Again,
It's impossible, Pete.
That's what I'm trying to
Impossible.
say.
Yeah,
again,
I keep telling them that there's only so many shots in the game.
so then
8
Those,
why?
points.
it's
8
it's only
points.
shot attempts.
But
If
see,
you look at the clock, it's only so many shot attempts you get in the game.
again, again, you guys are now just making my argument for why Dayron will be moved back to a back role because he's not going to drop a lot of points.
Why?
So he'll probably
He
Yeah,
be
don't
but
13
John,
need
there's a
and
to.
lot
8.
of centers who don't drop a lot of points in the league.
And them teams be winning.
So,
Yeah, they
uh,
they they do the dirty work. They rebound. They defend. They
again,
set picks.
again, Dameron can do that same role as a backup and do it very well. As a starter, I'm fine with
Okay, so
something.
John, who's the starting center then that's gonna take these shots and score more than 10 points a game?
At this point, I mean, Leaf keeps harping on Danny Wolf. I'm not with him on that
So
level,
okay,
but if it's not Dayron, then who else you got on
so
this
you
team right
want
now?
Danny Wolf and Mo Wagner to take shots away from
from
the other
from
starting 4
I
players
didn't,
and away from Nolan.
I didn't say that. That's why I keep saying Dayron should be the starting 5. But again, you said I was crazy for the 13 points. Again, it's going to be around 10
Yes.
points. Dayron's not just going to drop 5 points and have 10 rebounds a night. That's pretty
that's
I
bad.
think
fine.
that's
I
I
think he's
think
gonna
that's what
be
you're looking
anywhere
at
between
actually.
9 and 12 points. I
How
personally think.
bad for Dayron. That's why he should stay as a backup then, because Dayron produces as a backup. As a starter,
Be-
5 and 10. That's
Because
not going to help him with his
it's gonna be
contract.
some nights to where Dayron's gonna get a lot of putbacks, and
Yes.
then it's gonna be some nights he's not.
But that's
Again,
okay because his presence is noted.
Right.
Team's
That
gonna know his presence is there, so they're
Facts.
his
gonna
game
box
is to
out.
rebound, not
Right.
to go and score points.
Again,
That
Jamal.
means
People kind of making an argument for why Dayron's going to be back eventually, but Jamal, his argument to me has been that Durant and Dayron are similar. Jamal, 5 and 10, that might be what Dayron does this year, given we have so many starters that want to score.
Hold
That's
on,
the issue.
Dayron and who is similar?
No, Jamal's argument to me is that analytically, Dayron can produce close to what Jalen Durant does, around 20 and 10, which I
I don't
disagree
know about that,
on.
Jamal.
Yeah, I disagree on that a lot. And so I agree. I actually agree with Pete. 5 and 10 might be what he does on most nights because you have 4 starters that want to drop over double-digit points. So I think for Dayron, the
That's what
rebound
I'm
is going to be.
saying.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement. I just want Dayron to be a backup eventually because I think that's where his role is at best. At the
But
starter, he needs to play.
it doesn't matter who starts at center. Their job is not going to be to score. If they
For
yeah,
are
him,
not on this
taking
team.
an
Not,
if they are
not,
taking enough shots to score 20 points, then that's a total fail because you don't want them taking that many shots.
I agree, and that's why I think our starting center is out there in the market. Leaf keeps thinking Danny Wolf's just going to magically take the 5 position.
It's going to
He's
be Dayron,
yeah.
John.
Well,
Yeah, but
that's
the thing, like I said, I don't see. Listen, we all know Dayron going to be the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to getting shots, right?
Mhm.
Right. He's going to be the low man for that. But my thing is, I think it's going to be like some nights to where he's going to get so many, easy points from putback rebounds and putbacks
I
that
agree.
he's going to be in the double digit
And
range.
that's what I'm trying
I
to
don't know
say.
about that.
So if you look at five putbacks, how much points is that? 10
10.
points, right?
But
Yep.
how many
Again,
If,
putbacks per game do guys actually get?
but that's what
Maybe
I'm
right.
saying because
three,
he gets a lot.
four.
He get a
He
lot
You
of
gets
if
a
you get
lot of
anything over
rebounds
rebounds.
four,
though.
you
He get
count
a
'em.
lot of rebounds.
He
If
does.
he's
He
not getting
can.
no shots, if he's not getting no shots, and they tell him, "Yo, get your ass in the paint and just rebound." If he could sit there and be like, "All right, cool, I'm gonna get my points off
But
of
but not only
rebounds,"
that, real quick,
he could
Jamal. Here's the
average.
thing, Pete. He can get fouled like 3 times and go to the line and get 6 points if he hit all his free throws.
What's his free
I
throw
I,
percentage?
I
Like
expect
67%?
Dayron to be getting fouled a lot,
Oh,
rebounding the
let me,
ball.
let me
Wait,
see.
67% is his free
that's
throw
not
percentage last year.
that's not good.
Yeah,
That's not good either. So like I just agree with Pete that Dayron's offensive production is not going to be anything special, but his rebounding still going to be good. Again, I just see Dayron's role as a solid backup, and our starting center is out there in the market. It's not going to be Danny Wolf. Danny's a 4 right now, so
It's going
the
to be
Nets will have
Dayron.
to play that eventually. Yeah, right
And
now Dayron is the
listen,
starter.
Dayron got 3 offensive rebounds per game last season. So
Mm-hmm.
if all of those offensive rebounds are putbacks, that would be 6 points. I think a lot of the time, if he does get offensive rebound, it's going to be thrown out to the 3 point line, and they're
I
going to do a
agree.
reset. Is
I
he
And
going to get
agree.
then,
putbacks? Sure.
and
I
then we got to think about. We also have to think about Mikel being a point guard. He might be feeding Dayron. We don't
He's
know
not,
how that pick and roll might be.
but he's not going to run the offense through Dayron like Cade does with Durant. That's a whole different
No,
relationship.
no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But
It might be a place where he ends up getting more points than what we think he's gonna get.
he's got, listen, Mike Hill will find Dayron for like 1 or 2 attempts, but even when Dayron gets those rebounds, let's say he's trying to out rebound Giannis and Bam. To what Pete said, he's likely going to pass that to somebody in the corner and try to put it in the hoop over those two behemoths. Like again, Dayron just has to catch reload, but if he gets easy chances to put a ball in the basket, then he can do that. But I just think for Dayron, his playmaking abilities has been one of his most improved aspects of his game. He's going to find guys like Yegor, Michael Porter Jr., or even Randall in the corner, let's say. So I feel like for Dayron, that's kind of what his role is, to just catch,
If
reload, and keep the flow going of the game.
if Dayron does score 10 points a game, that means someone in the starting lineup is going to be negatively affected, right? Could Randall score
Uh-huh.
15 points a game instead of 20? Sure, right? And maybe that could make it up.
Right,
I think
right.
we all agree we'd rather have Randall taking those shots though.
Yeah, I totally agree. And listen, I think we all want to keep Dayron on his team long term, but it's likely going to be eventually as a backup again, which isn't taking away his value. In fact, he's one of the most valuable backup bigs in the NBA. Now he just has a chance to start and help impact our young backcourt duo and MPJ and Randall, which he will do, but he's not going to do what Jalen Duran does. And I just think, Jamal, you have to, try to meet us a bit in the middle here because we don't want you to be too unrealistic about that.
John, you're the most unrealistic person in life
No,
when it comes to the Nets.
you're busting balls. You're busting balls, bro.
But
Even I can be
like,
very
wait, listen,
realistic.
listen. Could Dayron Sharp go off and you be right, John? 100%, right? It could happen.
Mhm.
It's not the craziest thing in the world, but is it likely? I don't think so. I think they much rather have those other guys take the shots. I
Look,
much
I,
rather
I
see
I
Michael
don't
Brown
agree with
Jr.
that.
shoot.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying Dayron gonna be a 20-point per game player, and I'm not saying he gonna be a 5-point per game player either. I expect Dayron to score anywhere between 9 and 12 points. The thing is, those other guys are going to get those shots,
They're gonna get
and
the majority of the
Dayron's going to
shots.
clean that glass up. It's going to be
Right.
sometimes to where he's going to throw the ball back out and find his teammates, and it's going to be sometimes where he gets easy putbacks. It's going to be
Right.
sometimes where he gets fouled trying to get those easy putbacks. So
Yeah.
I don't expect him scoring 5 points per game. That's too low. 20 point per game is also too high.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
he
agree
got
with
3
John.
offensive rebounds per game last season, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he gets one more per game. We don't know what the minutes are going to look like. If he
I think
plays
it'll
30
be
minutes a
3.
game, if he gets 30 minutes a game, maybe he will average 5 offensive rebounds a game. But I just don't, if he gets those 3 offensive rebounds per game this year, what would you say? 1 out of 3 might be a putback?
Right.
Yeah, to what Pete is saying, you look at the numbers right there with Dayron. I think the 8.7 is going to be around that mean. The rebounding could go up to around 9 or 10 because that's his biggest skill set. And if his free throw percentage could go up maybe around the 70% margin, that's a slight improvement. But again, that's kind of what Dayron is. And that's not something I'm upset about. It's just I know what Dayron is and what he isn't.
I
And
think
he has a job, which is to make sure our other
we also
starters
miss
Let,
it.
let me ask
see
you a
the
question. Is he a better scorer
opportunities.
than Claxton?
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Is
a by a
I
little
think
bit.
so.
he's a better
He
scorer than
is. I
Claxton,
think
right?
he is, Jamal.
Is
I
he
think so
not
That's
too.
taking is he not taking Claxton minutes in spot?
okay. So
How
that's
much
one
how
guy.
much was Claxton putting up?
Not a lot.
But he was putting up double digits, right? Damn
I
near
think it was
every game,
11.
right?
I think he
I
was.
think
I think
it
he was averaging like 12, 13 points a game or something
So
like that.
was,
if you replace that
11
productivity with
points.
if
11
you
11?
points a
Okay.
game.
if you
yeah,
replace that productivity in the shots the shot chart with Dayron, you don't think he could get more than Clarkson?
he's not gonna he's not gonna drop
But
his
you know
11.
another thing that we doing, we basing everything on what hold on, we basing everything on what we saw already. We don't know if Dayron comes into this season being a better player, taking a
Right.
little jump. We don't know that. So
I
To
agree. But let me say this. I don't think the issue is replacing Claxton. It's the issue is Randall coming in.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah, because we got
yeah,
another 20-point scorer. I
Exactly.
get that.
Right.
I get that. I definitely get that. But
I
I was just looking at it at the fact that he's getting more playing time now. He just got more time to show his skills,
the,
and I'm
the
pretty
most
sure he knows that also.
most interesting thing I would look for with Dayron is there any way to improve the shot blocking abilities because he's in like the best shape of his career. You've guys seen I don't know if you've seen the photos or not. This guy looks very slim, the slimmest he's ever been in his life. Can that maybe improve Dayron's defensive weaknesses somewhat on shot blocking because that's not what he's known
we'll
for.
see. Here's the
Like
thing,
that's
like I
something to look
said,
out
we
for.
basing everything off of last year, like it's going to be the same this year with him starting. When listen, we seen the work day they've been putting in the summertime. Now I'm not saying it's going to pay off, but if it pays off, then his output that you basing him off of last year isn't going to be the same.
Again, it might go up a few clicks, but I'm just kind of with Pete, where offensively is not going to be special, but the rebounding is going to be really good. Again, it's just I want to keep him long term as the backup because I think if you get a starting big, that will complement Dayron very well, and the Nets won't have to worry about the center issue anymore, which that issue's been going on for almost a decade now.
I'm just
Not
sitting.
even more than that.
I'm just here. Wait. I'm just along for the ride, man. I'm just going. I'm
Yeah.
just here along for the ride. I'm gonna see what Dayron got. Listen, we ain't competing, we ain't contending, we still developing, we still trying to see what these young guys got. We so at the end of the day, this is Sharp's time to prove itself, and I'm gonna be tuned in to see if he actually got better and if he's gonna do that.
I
And if
I
he
hope
doesn't, then you know what? Maybe we put him back as a backup center or we trade him or something. It is
I
what it is. I'm not losing no sleep
I,
over
I hope
Dayron center playing center.
I agree with you. I hope Dayron does well. I hope all these guys do as best they can. The schedule is going to be very interesting to see how it all looks for the first 20 games. Like, Pete, what do you think the schedule might look like tomorrow? Do you think we're going to get a lot of good teams early on? Or we get a mix? Like, do you think the odds are in our favor or very against our favor?
I think I'm not even looking at that. The schedule is going to balance out, right? You're going to play the teams you're going to play. The Knicks are going to play the teams they're going to play. The issue
Mhm.
is that we play in the toughest division in the NBA, and it's
Right.
not close.
Yeah, our
Look
That
at
is
division.
a
look at the
fact.
teams. They're, every team in our division was a top 6 seed in the East last year,
Right.
and they got better.
Yep.
That's a fact.
Yeah. The Raptors deal is going to be very interesting because if that goes through, now you have to face Kawhi and Scotty Barnes, which that's tough in itself.
Kawhi might not play anyway. He always hurt. So who
Yo,
knows?
he went to. I think he went to
He
Toronto this
went to
past
some country
weekend.
in Asia or something, right?
Oh, he went to
Played.
China, I
Asia.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, China. I don't think he's worried about what's going to happen, but who knows? Hope this
I'm
This
best
is
case
how
concerned
I
about
scenario.
the
see it, man. All
Sixers.
these teams that are good now aren't going to be good when we start to be good. So let them have their fun now because we gonna see them while we going on the way up. We gonna see them coming on the way down.
Yeah.
One of the,
Yo, Joel Embiid looks really bad. Like he looks like the best shape he's ever been, but he looks way too skinny, and his knees look really bad. Like
who?
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know what
Joel Embiid.
I don't know what version we get. Like I think I might take an Ozempic this summer because LeBron showed up. Like
But
I don't know,
the
man.
thing is about that. I hate to talk about the Sixers. To pivot to them, they don't really need Embiid until the playoffs.
Now they need him for somewhat this season. Listen, people think the regular season is as important. That sets you up for a top seed
Yeah, but what I'm
potentially.
saying is
Without
they don't
Embiid,
based
you could
with the
big.
starting five they got. They don't really have to run Embiid into the ground.
Oh, no, I agree with you on that, but they have to get a better backup big than putting Dean Wade, let's say, at the five. That's not exactly a good short term solution. They have to get some type of big to help
They don't have a
protect
backup
Embiid.
center.
I don't think they do right now. It's Dean Wade right now off the bench until
Dean
they
Wade
make a
was
move.
supposed to play the four before LeBron got there, right?
Dean Wade ain't a
Yeah.
center.
No, but
Dean
they're
Wade
gonna.
is a 3-and-D guy.
I agree with you, Pete. But they're gonna play him at small ball five or play LeBron at small ball five, which I don't think that's good either. So Embiid
Bro,
has to
LeBron
play
ain't
in
playing
some
no
games
small
this
ball
year.
five. You shitting me?
No, unless they get big. Like that's the thing about Philly. That's the thing about Philly. They might have the best starting five on paper, but any of those guys go down, Philly's not competing for shit this year.
I don't
Like
agree
that's
with that.
it.
They got I heard Debo's trying to go there. They got Anthony Simons. Um they got a couple of
Maxi Edgecombe.
yeah, they got a couple of other bench pieces.
Well,
They got
they
D
got a
Caldwell
Wade coming off
crew.
the bench, Simons, and it was somebody
Caldwell
else.
Pope.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Caldwell
yeah,
Pope. Thank you.
Caldwell Pope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And I heard that I heard Debo trying to go there.
it's going to depend a lot on health and a lot on sacrificing. Like the one thing I do like is they want to get Maxi's offensive output a lot up this year. That's why they're talking about moving LeBron to point guard as a temporary solution. I think Maxi is going to do great this year. Edgecombe to me though, that's a true wild
He's
card. They're
gonna
going to let
suffer.
him. Are they going to let him cook, or are they going to move him to the bench, let's say, and put a Simons, KCP in that starting lineup, which I wouldn't do. I think that Edgecombe Kim
No,
is
no.
a
BJ
center.
Edgecombe is starting, John. He's not coming off no bench.
No, I know, but again, it's all about like what LeBron and what the other guys want. And if they feel like they want to move Edgecombe to the bench, I wouldn't do it. But Edgecombe has to be a part of that team in a big way. That kid's
They're just gonna
special.
stagger the minutes. They just stagger the minutes.
Exactly.
They're not gonna, play every
Yeah,
guy, play the starting five 30 minutes straight. They're gonna mix it
Right.
up.
they have to,
Exactly.
man. They have to, especially with trying to
But
load
what I
manage. They
wanted to
have to
say to
load
you,
manage
John,
LeBron
is
too.
I get your point about them not having a backup center, but they do have about 3 to 4 players off the bench that can come in and play quality minutes.
No, I hear you. I think that's some interesting components. But again, you're not only low managing and B, you have to low manage LeBron James. Remember, sciatica, that can come up at any point this season where he's going to want like a Christmas vacation, let's say. So
But that's
they
why you
have to
got
I think,
Jalen
get a few more
Brown.
pieces.
You got
Again,
Brown,
Brown is
Maxi Edgecombe.
again, that's a fun true. That's the true of the future. Listen, right now, LeBron is short term. And Embiid, if this doesn't work out, they have to get rid of him. But that money's so bad right now. I don't
Okay,
know
so
what
let
they're
me
going to
ask y'all
do.
this question, and it's going hopefully it might let the Brooklyn Nets off the hook. If Philly doesn't win the championship, is that a bigger blunder than us with Kyrie Irving, Harden, and
I
KD?
I think it's
Nope.
just as bad. I think it's somewhat bad because they have a lot of talent right there right now. Like our big three thing was a disaster, unfortunately. But that right there now with Brown, Maxi Edgecombe, and now you have LeBron and Embiid, you have to be at least around Eastern Conference Finals, or else this is one of those epic failures when you look back on it.
bro.
Like they
Yeah,
Not
have
I
to
worse than
get.
agree.
us though. Not worse
Why
than
Why
you
us.
say
why you
not
say
worse than
that?
us? These guys got a monster starting
They
five.
got more than
Yeah,
just
they got a crazy
three.
starting
They
five.
got an
Pete.
I can
all-star
tell you
starting
why.
five.
I can tell you why. Because you
Why?
basically had three MVPs. Like say, okay, LeBron MVP and beat MVP, sure, but I'd rather take our big three than their big three easy. And I think we had a little
Nah,
more depth.
but the thing is, they got a better supporting
I
cast.
think they got a better
You
I
depth.
think
know
we had a better supporting cast.
You
what?
think
They
you
have better
did?
depth. Here's the
I
thing: is you saying that Embiid and LeBron were MVPs. Granted, Jalen Brown didn't win MVP, but he was a finalist, though, bro.
Also, you got to
It,
remember the
hold
Slim
on, hold
The
on.
Reaper
And you
didn't
got
KD and
start.
VJ
Harden.
Edgecombe. You got VJ Edgecombe, who made All Rookie. You got Maxi, who's also an All Star guard. Like
Anthony Simon.
Anthony Simons, Debo, Wade.
Simons is okay.
I mean,
Simons
Like,
is
but
like their
like, come
fifth
on.
man.
he's a
Simons is
great
like
role
my fifth.
player.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm not saying Simons is like some say or Bebo, but what I'm saying is he's a quality young player that can give you some good minutes.
I
He
He
started.
ain't no bum.
the thing that Philly
No.
could take away from this is you have a trio now of Brown, Max Edgecombe for the future. But again, if this doesn't work out this year, I think that NBA relationship is done one way or another because you have everything now. You have to make it work, or else they can't go any farther with Embiid
Hey,
anymore.
John, Jay from BK said Philly got Bonner and Huck Purtu as backup fives.
I
Bono.
think I think getting more experienced big would be better for Embiid than having just
Listen. I'm looking at this roster now. We had
Uh,
LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin.
remember,
Like,
what you call him didn't start though. I
yeah,
mean,
Bruce, yeah,
but I'm just
Bruce.
saying we had like
Durant
those
didn't play
guys.
that
They
first
did have some
year.
of those guys off the bench. You know what I
Yeah,
No,
mean?
but
yo,
Durant
Yeah,
wasn't
but
there.
but Pete, here's the thing though. We got to look at the full context. Those guys were all stars at once, but you're talking about them niggas was fucking washed. Okay, they were a shell of themselves when they got to the Brooklyn Nets. They now granted they was
It
gonna give
goes
a solid minute.
Joey.
Hold on, when you look at the Philadelphia 76ers, everybody's pretty much in their prime almost, except for like LeBron.
wait, Joey, I got the
Joey,
big.
it gets deeper. It gets deeper than that. We had Nash as a coach. That
Wait,
that that was
Well,
working
that's a
against
different
us.
conversation. That's a totally
wait,
Yeah,
different
that was working
conversation.
against us because
Joey,
it's a lot around
Yeah,
us
yeah,
that he could
Nash
have
was an
did.
idiot.
wait,
But
But
Joey,
mind you, you just named all those players and they did not play really during the
wait,
Boston series.
wait, Joey, I got a little pushback with the big. You said there's shells for themselves. When we had Kevin Durant, we were the number one team in the East. That was the best version of Kevin Durant you last seen before he went,
Well,
to
he's
Dog,
his
talking
I'm
other
not
about the
team.
talking
bench. We're
about
not
the.
talking about
I'm
like the
not
main
talking about the
players.
big. I'm not talking about the big three. What I'm saying is, granted, we
The
had a better
team.
big three, but they are deeper and more talented, top to bottom, than our team that we had with the
Okay,
big
when
three.
Blake, let me say this: when Blake joined the Nets, he only played 26 games, right? So that was towards the end of the year. But saying that he was completely washed, 10 points a game, 38% from three,
I wouldn't
4 rebounds.
completely
Like he
Blake,
washed.
wasn't like completely washed.
Completely
No,
washed. Right.
but what I'm saying is, don't make it seem like he was on some all star level when we had him.
No, he
He
wasn't. But
wasn't.
I'm
He
comparing him to
wasn't.
Simons.
wait,
That's who
but
I'm comparing him to.
Blake
Yeah,
Griffin,
I mean,
Blake,
was Simons
Blake,
average about 16 points per game?
that I was,
Simons is still a very, very young player.
yo,
How old
I
is
was,
Simons? Let me see.
yo,
Simons
Like
is
in
no,
still
his
young, but he's not going to get those minutes. But the thing is, Blake was playing little minutes. Simons is going to get little minutes now, right? We're
Blake,
Yeah,
comparing
yeah.
starter minutes to backup minutes,
Blake was our
basically.
start.
Oh,
Blake was
we,
our
we we
start.
can
But
we
Blake, well,
can
yeah, he
agree to
was our
disagree.
starter,
The
but he
only
only
thing is,
played.
listen, what I'm saying is they got youth and talent over there, right? They got a lot of players in their prime. We had some all stars and some big names outside of the big three. A lot of those dudes were old and just ring
But,
hunting.
wait. We had Lamarcus Aldridge, man. That second season we had him, he was great till he got hurt. But I felt so bad when he had the heart rhythm thing, man. Because if we had a fresh Lamarcus Aldridge with Blake and these other dudes against Milwaukee, I think we'd have a much better
Now,
chance to
I'm
win
not
that
sitting up
series,
here saying
man.
Lamarcus
That was
Aldridge and
that hurt
Blake
right
Griffin
there.
still wasn't going to be able to give us something. but those
Blake
guys were like 1 foot in, 1 foot out the league, bro.
No,
When they was
no,
with
wait.
us.
Blake Griffin was a dog when we got him in for that late run against Boston. I think he dunked over one of those guys and landed on his
Well,
ass. Like Blake Griffin gave you the
the
last
second
best
year,
version
John,
we
by the
had
second
of
year he
him.
was done, but the first
Yeah,
year he was
yeah.
good with
He
them.
was great. He was great that
First year
first
he was
year.
good.
Yeah, first year he
Yo,
was
you said
great,
you
man.
made that argument. Then you talk about the second year he was done. I'm
Well,
weak.
Yeah,
he was
second. Yeah,
top.
but I'm comparing. You're comparing the teams, so I'm comparing the teams, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stats.
Yeah,
We also had Paul Millsap who didn't play.
that was the
Right.
second year. That
But
was the
why would I
second
compare
year.
Paul Millsap?
That was
No,
the
what I'm
second
saying
year.
is we had a lot of big names, right, on our roster. A lot of old I don't want to say washed up, but a lot of guys who were just on their way out the league.
That
Just
was the second year.
just with the Brooklyn Nets for a veteran presence who wanted to try to piggyback off of Rain.
But that was the second year when Sean Marks signed the Bembreys, the Javon Carters, and James Johnson. Like that was when I agree with you. But before that, we had a good team, man. It's just the LaMarcus injury and then Kyrie getting hurt. Like again, those circumstances just really sucked, man. Because I think we had a great team on that could have
Oh,
won
it
it all
was a great
potentially.
team. It was a great team. I
Like
still don't. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I'm not saying it wasn't a great team. What I'm saying is, I think this Philly team is a little bit more younger and talented and more in their prime and more
if,
like,
if
I
you're
don't know.
That's
basing it
fair to
off of,
say.
if you're basing it
Prime
off of
wise,
if you're basing it off Edgecombe and Maxi being their stars, I agree. Because we didn't have young stars with the big
well,
three.
No, we
John, we're
did
not talking
not.
about the starters. We're not talking
No,
about
no,
the
no, no,
starters. We're talking
no,
about like
no,
the bench and
no,
secondary players.
no. He was just talking about Max and Edgecombe because we didn't have young stars on our team for the Big Three run. So I kind of agree with him there that they have the younger star talent than we did.
I'm
That's
not
what
talking
we're
about the
talking about.
starters. I'm talking
No,
about
no, I'm
depth.
talking about.
So
Not what
yeah,
we're
but here's
talking
the
about.
thing, right? You look at their starting five, and it's like, yo, it's bulletproof. When we had the big three, who was starting with the big three outside of Kyrie, Katie, and
Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown and
Okay, Bruce
Griffin.
Brown was decent. Who was the other? Claxton.
Yeah.
That was the
So what
I
second
I'm
don't know
saying
year.
about. I
is,
got to look that up. That's a good question.
you put that Sixers starting five up against ours. I still think when we had the big three starting five to starting five, I think the Sixers got it.
Mm. I think offensively we were really good though, man. If Katie Carr and James would just stay
Nah,
their ass freaking heads,
I
man,
think
that
we
would
got
be
it.
scary.
What do you call it? It
I,
was Joe
I
Harris was starting with the big
yeah,
three,
Joe Harris
and
too.
Blake Griffin.
Oh
Harris was
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Nah,
But
Yeah.
Claxton wasn't starting at the five.
Yes, he
I'm looking
was.
at the playoff
Yes, he
stats. I think the
was.
second year or third year,
The
yeah,
second year,
but Blake was the starter originally at center.
listen,
it was the
listen,
second year.
Joe
we was
Harris was
blowing
starting.
we was blowing teams out like it was nothing. We had
Yeah.
the big three.
We didn't
It
even
was,
play
You
defense.
really think Philly really would have did something to us? We was
it's
blowing
it
teams out. It was
Well, we
ridiculous.
gonna see what they do this year, Jamal.
it was so unfortunate how that all transpired, man. If there was no pandemic or anything like that, that big just played man in front of a
I,
national audience and
I
things
tell
Listen,
you
might have been
what.
different,
I
I
tell
man.
you
you
what.
know
Either
You
way
heard
you look at it,
so
it's not going to be a good look if they don't make the finals.
I,
Either
I
way.
right. I
listen.
hate to sound like
You
a
heard
sour
Jeff T
patch
what
kid,
he
right?
said.
I hate to sound like a sour patch kid, but when you look at the Brooklyn Nets when they had the big three, it was like everything that could go fucking wrong went
Did.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you look at this last year with the Knicks winning the championship, everything that could go right went
Went
right.
right. Yep. Sure enough.
Uh,
It
it's
was the
it's
total fucking opposite.
it's even worse because the NBA came with all these extra salary caps, which kind of now makes teams not go after big threes because financially it doesn't work. And now you have the lottery reform, and whatnot. Like everything that went bad after that just got even worse because now nobody wants the Nets to ever do that again. Like I hope we have another window, man. That's not close to it, but it's special in its own right. But it's going to take a lot to get back there, man. It really does. Like this roster needs a half of it needs an overhaul when we're ready to be a serious team, man. But you have Michael Yeager, which is very fun, very exciting. But hopefully in a year or two, we can get a big piece on this team to really just get things going in that direction. Because I want to watch fun winning basketball. I don't want to be watching the worst of the worst for 3 or 4 more years. I want us to be excited about these guys actually playing winning basketball, not just relying on Coach Jordy to somehow pull us all out of his ass. Like, nah, man. Like, it's like we're getting good
I don't
talent.
know, Pete, because I think, listen, it's a lot of pressure on Philly because, listen, you got LeBron James. And anytime you put LeBron James in the mix, it's added extra pressure. You put LeBron James, who took $8 million to come to Philadelphia to win a ring with a star-studded um team, and if they
Joey,
don't,
that
if
nigga
they
got paid
fall
under the
short, I
table
just
too.
think that's an epic fail.
You heard?
Yeah,
He got paid under the table too. Cause there's no way fucking Adams is waiting for you to decide what the schedule
Because,
gonna be.
but I'm saying,
Like you got paid under the
does
table,
that
bro.
not hurt? Does that not hurt LeBron's you know what I mean? How he's perceived if he
I
doesn't win a
mean,
chip in Philly?
Joey, he's a former champion. He's a billionaire. This guy's already self-made. He's just playing extra basketball right now.
Yeah, he's playing.
Like,
But
I
here's the
think he
thing,
cares
John.
about that.
I listen. I know LeBron is great. We know LeBron is a Hall of Famer. We know he's going to go down as one of the greatest. But it's different with LeBron because he's
You know,
chasing fucking ghosts. He's
no,
chasing Kobe. He's
no,
chasing. He's chasing Jordan's legacy. So every little thing he does is under a microscope.
Yo,
you know what
Joey,
it
but
is.
that's done. That's done.
That
But
you,
even if he
you,
wins, even if he's win, he's not. You cannot compare him to Jordan or Kobe no more. Those
he,
I
conversations is
understand that, but
over.
what I'm saying is people are going to give him shit because he went and he fucking attached himself to the star-studded team and still fell on his face.
But that's the
again,
whole thing, Joey. He been doing this for years now. So no,
uh,
it's been out of. I stopped viewing LeBron that way since he did the whole Wade and boss shit.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
stopped.
looking at how LeBron can finish this legacy of his, I think he plays one more year after this, and I think he truly ends it at the Olympics in 2028, which is like it's just gonna be held in Los Angeles. I think if he's gonna go out, he's gonna go out with his friends and family, winning some Olympic gold. I think he's setting this up for himself. Where 2 more years, let's see what happens, and then I'm gonna end it in my home place with my family and friends, winning gold with the next generation. I think LeBron is just setting this up because he also has a documentary he's working on right now. I think he's got a plan right now. These
I,
next 2 years, I play with Philly, I play anywhere else, and then it's over at the Olympics in
so
He
2028.
So
he said
Jamal,
it's the
I think
last
it's
dance.
slightly different, right? This time because he's on a team. He's playing with four other guys who can literally give you 20 plus easily on any given night. Now, as great as that Miami team was, right? They didn't have that type of firepower.
No, they did
As
not.
hold on, as great as that Cleveland team was, they didn't have that firepower, right? It was just the big three and a couple of and some road guys. So he's playing with. I think this is the most stacked roster he's played with since being in the fucking league. If you
But
ask
but
It,
me,
but Joey, every team he went to that you just talked about, he was the man. You know what I'm saying?
correct.
It wasn't LeBron and everybody looking at Wade to be the guy. No, it was everybody looking at Braun to be the guy. This is the only team where he's not even, he shouldn't even be looked at to be the guy right now.
well, he doesn't have to be because you have
He
two
doesn't
young
have to
stars
be Jamal,
and
but
you
that's the
have
whole
Yeah, that's
reason
what I'm
he
Damian
went there.
saying.
Lee.
And
But
that's what I'm
Jamal,
saying. So that's why I'm
real
like, it
quick, that's
shouldn't.
the whole reason
hmm
he went there because he doesn't have to be, and he can piggyback his way into another ring.
And it won't, to me, it won't count. It won't matter. It
No,
won't matter.
wait. If they win a
Because it's
title,
content.
there's
No,
nothing you
no,
can do about
it's
that.
content at the end of the day, right, John? We all know, if we're looking at LeBron. We here. We knew. That's like you looking at Barkley win a ring at the later junction of his career. We would look at it a certain way, right? Because we know he attached himself to that Houston team and he was trying to win a ring, right?
As
Hey,
regardless of
Jamal, I
how,
hear what you're saying. My thing is, LeBron got a lot of haters. If LeBron wins it, they're gonna say, "Well, you were supposed to win it. You went and attached yourself to a super team." If he doesn't win, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
fucking laugh at him, bro.
I,
Yeah, but and I'm a LeBron fan.
It's a
I was a
double-edged sword.
LeBron fan, bro. But it's just certain things I look at LeBron with certain views now, and I can't judge him the way I judge Kobe and Jordan and all the other greats. I can't judge him that way no more.
I hear you,
Even
criteria.
KD.
I hear your criteria, but the guy is a GOAT in his own right. I speak for LeBron James. No matter what happens next 2 years, I think he's waiting till that 2020 Olympics to finally hang it up because that's going to be held in his home area of Los Angeles. And if he wants to go out, it's going to be winning gold one more time and having the next generation playing alongside him. I think LeBron has this mapped out in his head. And whether he wins with Philly or not, the guy is a made man. So I
No,
think
he
Listen,
he's
is.
ready
But
John,
to
what I'm
take
saying
it.
is
he's top
that
top five. I
that's you
get it.
guys, right? You guys got good common sense. You know basketball. What I'm saying is LeBron has a lot of haters, my G, and
Of
they're
course.
waiting for him to fail at any moment so they can throw it in his face. So whether he's not the primary guy on Philly or not, it doesn't matter because wherever LeBron goes is usually about LeBron.
But Joey, let me ask you a question. Is he doing that to himself by going to these teams?
on
He's
Yes.
this
putting a
team.
bullseye on himself, right?
I gotta
On
Yes.
head
this
out,
team.
guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, we got Jay from BK on the stoop. What's up, Jay? I guess he's not there. Go ahead.
But you get what I'm saying? He's putting a bullseye on his back. And that's the only thing I'm saying.
Oh, what's up,
Yeah,
y'all?
Like,
so
oh, go
obviously,
ahead, Jay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, what's going on, everybody? I just wanted to chime in and say a couple things. One, this Philly team, I don't think it's fair to compare it to the Nets' big three as a failure because all Philly has to do is make the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's better than the Nets did. Like we got to the
That's a
second
fair
round
point.
once.
That's fair.
So, but that's one. And secondly, a lot of times in our basketball conversations, people are prisoners of the moment. I don't think this messes with LeBron's legacy or anything, no matter what Philly does. And here's why. Does anybody put a strike against in conversations Kobe or Shaq for losing to the Pistons? They had a stacked team. They had the rape man, Karl Malone, on that team. They had Gary Payton. They had and they got stomped by the Pistons 4-1.
Yeah.
Stomped. Coached by Phil Jackson. That first
Correct.
game, like they were terrible. That first game in the finals, the Lakers scored 75 points. Like they had an awful finals and got stomped. Nobody holds that against. Nobody ever brings that up in any argument with Kobe
But
and
Jay, it's a
holding that
different
against him.
context though. LeBron is around here
How?
joining super teams. Those guys were already Lakers.
No, no. The rape man and the glove.
And
They
Gary
joined
Payton,
the they
they joined
joined the
at the end,
Lakers
yeah. At the end
to
of the
but to
at the
be
Yeah,
end
yeah,
of the
right
yeah,
to
yeah.
career.
because
But
they
here,
thought they were
but
getting
we
a
not
free
talking
chip.
about the. We talk about the primary players. Like Kobe wasn't jumping around trying to gang up with everybody that was good to get a ring.
No, people are not. No, no, no. That's
Oh,
that part
and
that you're talking
I'm
about.
not
I'm
talking
not. I'm
about as
not
far as the
talking
team.
about that part. I'm talking about in terms of how you lose. Like if Philly has injuries and they underachieve because of that, is that really LeBron's fault? Like if LeBron gets hurt like he did last year because he's in his 40s and he has injuries that just linger and nag, is that his fault? If
All right, so I'm
Embiid's
gonna play
knees are
devil's
messed up,
advocate.
is that
No, hold
his
on. I'm gonna
fault?
play devil's
Nah, he's
no,
just an
no.
old player now.
Hold on
He's
real
just an
quick. Hold on
added
real quick.
piece.
I'm
But
gonna
I
play
don't I
devil's
don't
advocate
hold
because
LeBron
hold on, hold
in
on,
that
hold on.
regard
Let
that
me just
other
say
people
this real
do
quick.
anyway.
You
Me?
giving him you would have gave them grace, right? But did anybody give the Nets grace when James Harden was playing on one leg? When Kyrie Irving got hurt? Was that their fault?
That
Was it their fault?
no, but I don't think
Okay,
people don't bring that up and hold that against them. People don't ever say, Quitter James,
bro.
there's a strike against you because you lost in the second round to the Bucks because
What
you were injured.
Jay? They
People
get
don't bring
listen.
that up. No,
The
people
Nets
don't
went through
blame
so much
KD for
bullshit.
that.
Hold
Matter of
on, the
fact,
Nets went
people
through
no,
so much
people give
bullshit in that
KD
Big Three
credit
era,
for
and
that
nobody
series.
gives a. The Nets went through so much bullshit in that Big Three era, and nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave us no grace. We had injuries. We played through a fucking city COVID mandate. Nobody cared. All they said is the Nets fucking failed. They're a big failure. They did not put a context to anything. So it baffles me that y'all come up here and save these other niggas, but y'all never give our team any fucking grace.
Nobody's saving anybody. The truth is, most people in basketball conversations don't talk about the Nets failing as a big three. And
Oh,
any other failures. You know why? Because most people talk about who the champions are. People aren't talking about
Jay,
when
so
we
you
failed
telling
in the
me you
finals.
never see
People talking
nobody
about
talking
the
about the
X
Nets and
won the
clowning the Nets
finals.
for failing with the
No,
big three?
no. I'm saying people talk more about who wins rather than who loses. People talk more about the
Oh my
winners
God.
than they do the losers. People don't talk about what happened to OKC in the playoffs. OKC was down however many people due to injury, and they for sure would have been back to back champs. People
Yeah,
talk
so
about who
what I'm
actually
saying is you
won.
can't sit there and if the Lakers had those injuries, you can't sit there and give them grace either. Because
No, I'm
everybody
not
had
giving
injuries and
anybody
went through
grace.
injuries in the
We talk
playoff run.
about no, but we talk about the champions. When people talk about the 2004 winners, they talk about Detroit winning. They don't talk about the Lakers super
That's
team
because
losing.
most niggas are casuals and they don't put things into full context.
But who talks about the losers? People talk about the winners.
Listen,
When you
everybody's
win, they
going to
talk
talk about
about
the
you.
Nets because they had a
The,
big three
the,
that failed. Were they not the butt? Hold on, Jay. Were they not the butt of everybody's? Jay, you can't sit here and say the Nets was not the butt of everybody's jokes when the big three fell, when they fell apart.
At the time, yes, people don't talk about them
Okay.
now because people remember and talk about winners. They don't remember and talk about
Bro, they talk about the
losers.
Nets all the time with the big three
nah,
shit. I see
nah,
that shit
Jay.
all the time on
Jay,
Twitter.
they was talking about doing a 30 for 30 for them. I ain't gonna lie.
Come on, man. Be
No, you
honest,
said they
man.
were talking about doing one. Have they done
They
one?
they haven't done it yet. They talk about maybe when they retire, they gonna do that.
We get the Nets get so much hate and never any grace. Now, granted, I get it. Some of the shit that happens to us is self-inflicted. But we never look at the full context when it comes to the Nets. It's because, oh, it's just fuck the Nets. Yeah, they're losers. Yeah, they fell. Haha, the big three fell apart. Nobody talked about Harden fucking playing on one leg. Nobody cared that Giannis put his foot under Kyrie's foot. Nobody talked us playing.
Well,
Nobody talked about us fucking battling the government through a fucking city COVID mandate.
Joey,
All
a
they
lot of
cared
that
about was fucking joking us.
a lot of that is not has not been earned now. And I'll say this because you mentioned that bitch that used to play for Milwaukee. There are a lot more Nets fans who love him and disrespect people who have been on the Nets and hate people who've been on the Nets. They literally love him, a guy who probably single-handedly cost us a championship. There are more Nets fans who love him and who hate people like Cam Thomas. They'll throw Cam
Yeah,
Thomas
that's
under the bus
crazy.
and then they'll lust for him to be traded to us. Like I don't,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't. That's a
nuts.
mental
Not
sickness as far
not
as
this
I'm
Nets fan.
concerned.
I hate
No,
Giannis.
no,
So
I'm not saying you. I'm saying there
no,
are
no,
a
No,
I
lot of
know. I'm
I
Nets
just
know, I
saying.
fans
know who. I know what
love
you talk
him.
about, Jay. I
Now,
know because I've
the
been in the
the
That
spaces.
is true. That is true.
the
I've
the
been in
the
the
thing
spaces.
about it, Joey, and we can agree to disagree. A lot of reason why the Nets, as a franchise and certain players, but definitely as a franchise, the reason why we don't get grace is because we are arguably the worst franchise in NBA history. So there's nothing to give us
That's not
grace
true.
about. What? No, no,
That's
hold
not
on.
true at all.
Nets Kingdom posted something earlier this week. The Nets are the only team in NBA history who've never had an MVP,
I
Defensive
know the
Player of the
coach.
Year, Coach of the Year. They've literally
Right.
never had any
Eh,
award winner except for two Rookie of the Years. And the last
Okay.
one being
But but
Derek
but but
Coleman
but
in the
Jay,
90s.
Jay,
We
you
haven't
Jay,
earned
that,
grace.
but Jay,
We won
you see
nothing.
y'all let these people play on your emotions. I don't care because you know why? All that is about politics anyway when it comes to those awards. The NBA ain't never gonna give us a fair shake. Never give none of our players a fair shake. Shit, we had
We've
the big
won
three, and
nothing.
we hold on. Let me say this real quick. We had the big three, and we couldn't even get fucking calls in Barclays. So I don't give a fuck about that. But what I will say is, the Nets been to the finals, my nigga, 2 times. You got 5 or 6 teams that ain't never smelt the fucking finals that are NBA organizations. So I don't give a shit about no coach of the year and all this Puswato bullshit that they want to try to spin the shit on us. Because
Yeah,
there's
that
5 teams
We're,
in the NBA right now that never been to the finals. So
Yeah,
I'll
but
take that
we've
over a coach
won
of the year.
nothing. We've won nothing. And I don't know how many teams have never been to the finals. The only team that can
It's
argue
5.
that we can argue who are as bad as us is the Sacramento Kings. We're literally one of the two worst franchises in NBA history. So we're not going to get the grace that some fans think we should because we haven't earned it. We've literally won nothing. And you can say it's any excuse that you want. The facts are what is the bottom line? Either you've won or you haven't. We've won
Yes,
nothing, so
but
we have no
that
leg to
is
stand
true. And I
on.
And I'm
You have
not
no
saying
leg to
I'm not
stand on.
saying I'm not saying for them to give us no grace, but for you to sit up there and try to fucking shit on us when you're not looking at the full context of what's going on is crazy to me.
Where did I wait? Where did I shit on the
I'm
organization?
not talking
By
about you. I'm
saying
just
we
speaking
don't
in general,
deserve
Jay.
grace? We
Jay, I'm
don't.
not talking about you, bro. I'm speaking in general. I'm speaking in generalities. I'm talking about all these fucking talking heads that want to talk shit about us, but they never add context to the situation.
Because we have to earn it. Their context, and I'm not saying they right or wrong, their context is the bottom line. And the bottom line is we've not earned it. I get that. I was at Barclays when they had COVID games. I was at the finals when we played the Spurs in Jersey with my ex. This is over 20 years ago. We have not earned the grace. So if they don't give
I
it to
just
us,
think a
that's
lot of
fine.
listen,
Moving
I'm not saying
forward,
some
we got to
things ain't
take it.
self-inflicted. I just think a lot of things when it comes to the Nets is hyperbole and exaggeration. That's just my opinion.
Quite possibly, but we still have to earn it, and we've got to moving forward. They have to change what has become the norm. And a lot of times the Nets are looked at a team that doesn't want to change what's become the norm. And I don't want to give the Icks credit, but the Icks changed what had become the norm with everybody knowing that James Dolan is an awful owner when he hired Leon Rose, a guy who has never been anything in basketball except an agent, and he completely turned that team around to
Man,
where they
like
got a
I said earlier,
championship.
before you got on the show, when we were contending, everything that could go wrong went wrong. So some of this shit had to do with luck. It didn't have to do with what the fucking Nets were doing. Some of this thing just had to do with what was going on at the time. With the Knicks, then when they won the championship last year, everything that could go right for them went right. So at the end of the day, when they say what does it take to win a championship, you know what people say? They say it takes a team staying together, building that continuity. They say it takes attrition, health, and you know what the third thing they say?
Luck.
Luck.
Yeah, you need luck. Hell yeah, you need it. Shit gotta fall in your place.
So
It ain't
all this shit
skill.
about we gonna blame everything on the listen, I can't blame that my city fucking had a COVID mandate when we was ready to contend. I can't blame Kyrie because he didn't want to fucking play because of whatever his health reasons or
I
his
can't
religion.
blame the mayor
I
that
can't
said
blame
that.
I can't
But I
blame
can't
I
blame the
can't
mayor that
blame
said,
Hey,
I
somebody
can't
clip
blame
Joey
James
saying
Harden
that
because
part.
he wanted to fucking play on fucking one
even though
hamstring.
I knew, even though
I
I
can't
knew
blame
he
Kyrie
dealt
Irving
with
because Giannis put his big ass 16 fucking inch foot under his
undercut him.
fucking landing zone.
That's an undercut. He directly undercut him because he went.
But
What the fuck? What rebound you was going to get?
hey, while I agree with you,
What
you know what
rebound
I
was he going
can
to get?
blame? I can blame the brand of basketball that a lot of teams play right now and say that that Nets team was soft as Charmin because after he did that, an old school team would have taken his knee out.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You hurt
That's a
our
fact.
guy, we hurting you. You hurt somebody who will get us to the championship, you ain't gonna
Yeah,
have your best
he
player.
wouldn't. Yeah, he would
They'd have
never been
they'd
playing
But
that
we had
shit.
a
they'd have
pussy
clipped his
coach.
knee.
We had a pussy
They would have
coach at that time.
no,
You got to
I'm not
remember.
blaming the coach. I'm blaming the players. You have to have the wherewithal that if you hurt one, we gonna hurt one too. We gonna go
Yeah,
Listen,
man for
I,
man.
Jay, I'm not sitting here
you
saying
needed
some of
you
this
needed
stuff
you
was
needed a Zaza on your
self-inflicted,
team.
and we didn't
Absolutely.
have. I'm not saying some of this stuff wasn't self-inflicted, and we didn't have some blame in it, but some of that shit was bad luck, bro.
100%. I don't disagree with that. But that doesn't change the point that I just made. When that bitch from Milwaukee who's now in Miami, when he did what he did, it was on one of the Nets players to say, "Yo, I got him," and taking his knee out. And I
But
don't
but
care
but
if
but
you
the
blew
thing
out
is,
his knee
Giannis did it
for the
on
rest of his
purpose. Listen,
career.
when you
I
listen to
know, and that's why you send somebody in the game to do it on purpose to him. That's
right,
Yep,
exactly why.
you know
yep.
what
You got somebody on
you know
standby for
what
We
that.
Jeff
go eye
Teague
for
said.
eye.
You know what Jeff Teague said on his pod. You know what Jeff Teague said on his podcast with PJ Tucker.
Yep.
He
He
was like,
said he
"Listen,
had his
man."
shit packed up in the car.
He said, "I had my shit packed up in the car." He's like, "Shit, we had Budenholzer in the locker room. Like, I don't know how we gonna beat these dudes." Like, he's like, "I thought we was finished." You know when everything changed, and this was with James Harden on one fucking hamstring. You know when everything changed? When Giannis hurt Kyrie.
Of
Yep.
course.
Yes,
They had
because
no
do you,
answer for
but no,
him.
Joey, do you understand why? And this is the part where I respect that bitch from Milwaukee who's now in Miami. He heard Coach Bud say that, and he said, okay, I'm gonna take things into my own hands. And he did. That's the problem. He his coach, and he took things into his own hands, and he got him a championship out of it. And we had soft guys who ain't want to take things into their own hands. You send somebody in there for the sole purpose of taking his knee out. And what happened?
Yep.
What's the NBA gonna do? Suspend you for a game or two?
You send one of those players in there that's on a 2-way contract. Get your ass in there, earn your money.
All I'm saying
Take
is,
him
bro,
out immediately.
you can't tell me the Nets don't win. You can't tell me the Nets ain't winning the championship if they got by the Bucks that year. I don't
No,
care what
I,
anybody
I
say.
just said that he stopped us from winning the championship. I literally just said that.
But like Jay was saying,
But
like you
then we
supposed to take
stopped
them
them
out.
from winning one.
Yeah.
Right.
We gonna be
Yeah.
We
even.
ain't gonna win it. You ain't gonna win it either.
Yeah, we
Neither
gonna
one
be
of us
even.
gonna win it. Atlanta going to the
Cause
finals.
cause that's all it was. Cause what happened was as soon as Kyrie went out,
It
fucking
was a
Drew
wrap.
Holiday he started cooking. Fucking Middleton started cooking.
They had
It
no
was
answer for
yeah.
Kyrie. They had no answer for
But not
Kyrie.
only that though, we not even talking about the PJ Tucker shit. PJ Tucker was trying to
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to gouge Katie's eyeballs out and shit. I'm
Absolutely.
like, bro,
By
what are
Yeah.
any
you
means,
doing?
no, it's by any means necessary.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm
They
in.
they was playing for their life.
Well,
They
I'm
was
gonna end the
playing
That's
for
how
their
show,
you
life.
that
guys.
Joey, that's the part that you don't include, that you haven't included in the conversation. Does it take luck? I agree with y'all 100%. It also takes by any means necessary. You got
Yeah.
to get this championship, however, you got to get it. And sometimes you're gonna have to get it out the mud.
Yeah, but
And that's it. They were
no,
they were
I
as
totally
dirty as
agree
they
with that.
wanted
But
to
I
be.
still think it's a
Every
thin line
chance.
between playing physical and you just out there
And
like
dirty.
trying to hurt guys.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
being dirty. But
Did it
well,
get
we
them a
know
I don't
Giannis is
agree
championship?
with
being
that.
dirty.
No, but did it
Yeah.
get them a championship?
No,
Like
it did. It
you
did.
may
But
not,
here's the
you
thing:
may not
the
agree with
NBA
it,
didn't even,
but they the
the refs didn't even
champs.
do anything.
Cause
I
it
know.
was
That's why it's a good
they
move
let
by
them play.
them.
Yeah, they let them play. My thing is,
That's why they the
everybody knew
champs.
it was no answer for us. It was no answer for us at all. They thought Harden
PJ
being
Tucker
out,
was
they would
out
thought it
there
was gonna be
arguing
easy.
with K. Right. PJ Tucker out there arguing with KD moms. And he like, yo, I love her, but I'm trying to get a chip by any means necessary. It's literally all hands on deck if you're trying to get a championship. Do I think it takes luck? I 100% agree with you. But it's still all hands on deck. You got to do whatever you have to do to
Yeah,
get this
but
championship. And that's what they did.
I'm not blaming Milwaukee for that. I'm blaming the refs, man.
Yo,
All
number
right.
Because
that bitch from Milwaukee who's now in
Okay.
Miami did what needed to be done. And we should have returned the favor. We didn't.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to end the show now. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. We talked about a lot of subjects. I appreciate everybody in the chat. There were mad people in the chat room. That being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I will be back Friday, 9:45, same time, 9:45. Thanks everybody for
all right,
being here. Peace, everybody.
Yep.